3, 2, 1.
I didn't hear the one on the other one there.
I didn't hear the one either.
I didn't do the 3, 2. I didn't do the one on the other one because I saw that Zach was just getting ready. I'm like, oh, we should redo that.
Oh, yeah, I had to go out of this screen to like turn on all my other stuff, so I didn't see that our hands were ready.
Fucking unused Zach. Concept. Shit's pretty funny, man.
Yeah, this is the unused concept art for Zach. So.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool. All right, we ready to go?
Oh, Lord, yes. I fucking hope so.
All right. All right, buckle up again, because we were not done with the Batmobiles. This is superhero stuff you should know, and once again, I am Ben Wan, the Ben Knight, the man who knows too much about Batmobiles, apparently. And with me, as usual, is the Goose Egg.
Andrew Goose Egg McGee. At your service, gentlemen. And look who else is here.
I've known you were a goose egg from day one, Andrew. It's me, not the regular Zach. This is the unused concept art for Zach you see before you. And that'll make more sense as we go along in the episode.
Yes.
I see.
You seem an awful lot like the finished version of Zach that we know.
Just a couple small differences.
Okay.
Nipple rings, for one.
We haven't seen those yet. But, yeah, as I said, we weren't done with the Batmobiles. Last week, we ranked the ones in live-action film, television, and stage. But this week, we want to talk about the unmade Batmobiles, the ones that we never got to see. We won't be ranking these formally, but if you guys want to throw out grades, go right ahead if you feel like it.
I'm going to.
So
I'm going to have to.
Throw out those goose eggs, throw out those S tiers, those E's, all that type of stuff. And for the viewers who are looking at the thumbnail, or even if you're a podcast listener looking at the thumbnail in Spotify or whatever, and you're like, what the hell Batmobile is this? You'll find out what it is soon. So.
I even know this one.
Yes. This episode came about because I was originally going to talk and show these in the rankings video, just to say, like, yeah, originally it was this or that, and then there were just so many of these as I was going through the ep that I was like, you know what, let's just do our own episode just on this stuff. Our audience really likes unmade script stuff. We haven't really done unmade vehicles or unmade bat suits or other unmade, like, stuff where we can actually show it to people. So that's stuff that I thought we could do as another form of an episode, and there were just so many of these that they just sort of lent themselves to this. So once again, we're going to go through all of Batman film and TV history, but this time we won't be starting with the 1940s serials because that would imply that they actually put effort to design the Batmobiles for the 1940s serials. So instead, we're going to go to the 1960s show. Famously, the Batmobile of that show was black and red, but the Batmobile was not always that way. It was originally just jet black. So let's talk about this.
A matte black, as it were.
Yes.
Wow.
According to the Batmobile documentary from Warner Brothers, which is available for you to see on YouTube as well, George Barris shared that the Batmobile was originally sort of this dull black and gray and white, which, if you think about it, is not too far-fetched of an idea because it's just like, okay, well, it's Batman, you know, and you're going off the comics and stuff, and sure, there's some blues and stuff, but you're like, oh, he's a character, he wears black and all that. But during a test shoot, the Batmobile came out of the Batcave, and Barris tells it that he saw it come out of the Batcave, and it just did not feel like it looked right. It didn't feel like it fit the world they were creating, this very colorful Technicolor world of the 1960s show. So he's like, let's take it back. And he repainted it, and he painted the black to be shinier, and he put in the red and stuff. And then they did another shoot where the Batmobile came out of the Batcave, and this ended up pleasing producer William Dozier, and the rest was history. And we got the Batmobile that we actually got in the 1960s show. But before it could have just been this matte black convertible, open-top car, I should say. So that was the original Batmobile. I'm glad we got what we got on it. I don't think this is as iconic. It doesn't really fit the 60s show to me.
I'm going C on this one.
It's amazing what one paint job can do.
C plus.
I would like to see it. I would like to see it a chrome black finish and with bubbles on it, because I think it would still look really cool.
That's true.
I mean, the structure is still there, and I like that. It's definitely stylized compared to the serial Batmobiles. So Yeah, I would say if I were to rank this, I would give it a B.
Yeah.
I'm a little more favorable towards it. I do still like it, but yeah, it's that matte black finish. I don't know, like that wasn't even, I guess customary for cars at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they thought that would be okay for like a souped up car. So
Yeah.
You convinced me.
Cool.
B minus for me. B minus at least.
I would say it's fine in terms of if this were, I mean, this wouldn't have been around in the 1940s, but if this were the serial, the 1940s serial, and they had something like this would be completely fine. This would be a huge upgrade than what we got. But considering the show it was made for, the Adam West show, it doesn't really fit. It would fit better in like a serious 1960s Batman thing, but
this is the alternate universe one we talked about.
Exactly. This is sort of an alternate universe where the 60s show isn't really campy so much as just sort of a more straight-laced version of it. And it would probably fit okay there, but when you don't have the red and the bat on the side and that type of stuff, it just feels like it's like a very watered down version of what we ended up getting. So I agree with the B grade on this one. All right. So that's the first one. Let's move on to the 80s, starting with the Batman script from 1982.
Oh, man.
Our most popular episode, and we're still talking about it. So,
Tom, shaped like a peen.
Tom Mankiewicz wrote the script in the 1980s for it, but his description of the Batmobile is very different from the Batmobile that we got in the 89 movie. So, in the script, it describes the Batmobile as, quote, sleek, so Andrew already likes it, a powerful, futuristic panther of a car, jet black with a domed interior. This may refer to the Batmobile with the dome on top of it, which we can see here in the Batmobile from 1950. And it says the interior is a glistening, intricate maze of computers, screens, and complicated electrical systems. Silver St. Cloud is the character who's in it in the Batmobile with him, and when Batman tells her not to touch anything, she says, like the cigarette lighter, and it says, quote, Batman smiles, points it out, there already is one. So he has a cigarette lighter, I guess, in the Batmobile.
Why do they always write these things that are just patently off? Like everything else is like pretty much good, but then this line,
Yeah. It doesn't really need to be in there. So
I also was laughing at this picture of Batman at the bottom, who's on
injured.
Crutches with his leg wrapped up.
Like a
I'm just like, Robin looks so excited. He's like, I already broke my leg driving this thing. Get in, Robin.
Yeah.
So,
is that what happened?
No, that's not what happened. In the original story, the first Batmobile gets wrecked because Batman's driving it. They're in a fight with the criminals, and then it gets wrecked, and so Batman's leg gets broken. And I guess Robin is the one who builds this version, which is the upgraded version. It's considered to be the Batmobile of 1950.
He wrecked because he was trying to light a cigarette. Batmobile and it fell in his lap.
That's good, man. That's good. God damn it! I tried to smoke a stogie in this here futuristic vehicle.
It just perfectly illustrates this script.
Somehow I broke my left leg in the car, nothing else.
Oh man. So
Alfred was right.
That's why you shouldn't smoke. Nothing to do with lung cancer or anything.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
Don't smoke and drive.
Oh boy, it's finished. What a beauty.
I don't know if you guys still
What a
want to
beaut.
grade these when they're just the script version, because we don't really have a visual on
I'm
this.
giving it a D.
For the cigarette lighter.
Yep. It's a D. Something like that. I don't like the big bulbous dome. How sleek can it be if it's got a big dome inside? You know what I'm saying?
That was part of the Batmobile for a while.
I know. I get it. It's fine. I don't know. It's fine.
Zach?
D+.
I'm going to give it an A. I'm
A.
going to give it an A because it made me laugh. This picture alone and that little story there just gave me a
Picture
chuckle.
was just an example of what it would look like.
I know, but I made a little story now in my head.
It's also great that it's wrapped over his suit. Oh, man. Oh, shit, that is
Batman
good.
Comics, guys.
That's so good, man.
Oh, man. All right, so I'm
Fucking
going to
A.
grade it based off the actual description.
Oh, you got to be reasonable over
thing.
here.
There
Yes.
you go.
Boring.
I'll just give I'll give it also an A because it does describe the Batmobile, the cigarette lighter thing. The
You
cigarette
guys
lighter
fucking
thing is
kidding
just
me
a
over
joke.
here?
It's just a joke in like one line. It doesn't mean it's capable of anything. Also, another thing I forgot, as we covered this in the script, this Batmobile is capable of jumping across rooftops.
They
Being
really
the
want
precursor
that.
to the Tumbler.
They want the Batmobile to be another Batman. You know what I
Pretty
mean?
much, yeah.
Batman
Yes.
goes across rooftops. Batmobile goes across rooftops.
Batmobile has a cape.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Let's not forget
Okay.
the cape on the Batmobile.
Well, the
was
fucking
thinking
like
about-
end, what do you call it? Scallops or whatever. Or the fucking other
Yeah.
designs are like the cape anyway, right?
Yeah,
so
kind
yeah,
of.
it all
Yeah,
it holds
the
up.
wings.
The wings, yeah.
I was thinking about that damn cigarette lighter again. I was thinking,
You can't get
what
over
if
that.
Vicky-
That's going to be
what-
your
okay,
favorite
what if
one
Silver-
out of all these.
Yes, what if Silver St. Cloud said that and he's like, I've already got one. Then it cuts to him holding his cigarette up to the back of the Batmobile with the afterburner in his mouth, like, just right up to the afterburner. Here's my cigarette lighter. That's how a man does it. A Batman.
What's he smoking? Like a Marlboro or is it a stogie or what?
I think it's a stogie. Yeah,
It's got to be a stogie, huh? Yeah. all right.
Alfred rolled it for him.
He got
used
it
to be
from
a- it was a
Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
The Golden Age comics used to have Bruce Wayne smoking a pipe, probably somewhat inspired by
Yes.
Sherlock Holmes in a way. So,
Oh,
I
well,
imagine
also
he's
he's just a
using the
rich
pipe.
gentleman.
That too, yeah.
Yes.
Gentlemen
uh-huh.
smoke pipes.
Yes.
We all know that.
Well, after Tom Mankiewicz wrote this script, we also got a treatment from the great Bob Kane. Yes, so we covered
man.
that a while back as well. We're bringing back all the greatest hits for this one.
Yeah,
But
look at us laughing.
apparently Bob Kane not only wrote a treatment, he also designed a Batmobile for the 89 film. So, this comes from Batmobile history, but let's take a look at it.
This is the one shaped like a peen. I got confused earlier.
Oh,
Hey.
Not too much. It's not as... I mean, it's not any more phallic than the usual Batmobile. Let's be real.
Kind of looks like a vacuum cleaner.
That's true.
yeah.
The fins are pretty big in the back. It does have that dome that we talked about, but that was pretty prevalent in the 1950s and 1960s and so. Before the, obviously, the Barris Batmobile. It's got the giant bat head in the front. Batmobile history describes that, quote, though the car is a combination of features throughout the history of the car, including the bubble dome canopy, searchlights, and battering ram, the nose and general shape of the car appear to be from an oversized Corvette. So
This is the description
Yeah.
of that one that we made fun of.
no, this is the
this
Bob
is-
Kane design of his own version.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I
Though it
gotcha.
could still
Okay.
fit that one as well. Like I could, like it
Okay.
still fits that version that was described by Mankiewicz. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some consideration.
The
Are there
Lincoln
just like a
kind of
sh-
reminds me of Batman and Robin.
A little bit. I don't
yeah,
know if it's
I could see
30
that.
I'm
feet,
thinking of it.
but
Are there just like a shitload of panels back in the day of him just running, ramming people like all the time and
I
blowing
mean,
up,
there's a famous
running into
cover
brick buildings and
of it
shit
going
all the
through a
time?
brick building. Yeah, there's a famous cover of it going through a brick building with, I think it's Dick Sprang who did it with him, Batman and Robin in the front and stuff with the 1940s battering ram. But
Man.
considering how much destruction we see the Batmobile do in a lot of these movies, it's not surprising that that was sort of planted early on.
Dick
That's
Sprang,
why a lot
man.
of his early villains didn't survive.
Yeah, he just fucking mowed him down.
Just rammed into them, smashed
Justice.
them into brick walls.
Battering ram. Engage. Oh,
So what would you
man.
guys rank this one?
You got it, Zach.
I mean, just from the picture, I guess like a C+. It's fine. It looks like a mixture between like a toy and a real Batmobile design,
Yeah.
and I still get like a vacuum cleaner feel from it. Did he
From
design
Hoover.
this? Did it say what decade he designed his own Batmobile?
I mean, it was meant to
what-
be supposedly meant to be for the 89 Batman movie, so I would think it's the 80s.
Okay.
But it seems a
It
little
still
outdated
looks-
for that.
Yeah, it kind of looks like some of the 70s Batmobiles and stuff. Or
A little
I
bit.
guess
if
I'm
you
thinking
add the battering
specifically-
ram. Yeah.
yeah, I'm thinking maybe two of the superpowers toys that we looked at.
Mm.
One of those Batmobiles kind of has that Corvette look to it. So yeah, it's fine looking. It doesn't look especially aerodynamic or anything, but it's fine for like a comic book. I can't imagine this in real life.
You can't imagine this in Batman '89. Michael Keaton
Hell
doing
no.
Descent into Mystery with this one.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna. It's maybe a D for me.
Okay.
Strong D.
Strong D. It's okay.
I would say it's a
No
C
goose
for
egg.
me. Like, I think that
Okay.
it's a decent representation of the Batmobile from the old comics, but it's from the old comics, and it's not really fitting of what the movie would end up being. If this was maybe an alternate design for the Adam West Batmobile, then sure,
Yeah.
I think this would be higher. But for the movie that it was meant to be for, maybe it would fit great for the Return of Batman script that we went over that Kane wrote. But for what would end up being the '89 movie, it doesn't seem to really fit that version. So
Right.
This one's Descent to Mystery when it's driving is being played on a recorder. It's like not a good score, just like kind of a dumpier version of it. Like a fifth grader
Yes.
playing on a recorder. Yeah.
Like a MIDI.
yeah, MIDI version of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a version of, I think have heard a MIDI version of Descent into Mystery way back.
Oh really?
Yeah, like early 2000s or so. People would like have it in the background of like their GeoCities homepage with the calendar
Yeah.
of how
Oh,
many visitors
yeah.
they had.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The
So,
fucking.
That's a throwback.
They got a good web ring. Remember that shit? Like
Part
every
of
site
this
had like
web
a.
ring.
Yeah, this web ring. Yeah, man. The internet was so different back then, dude.
Yep. All right.
Those were better days.
We have a few more from Batman '89 from a different artist. This next one comes from David Russell. As you can see, they still really want this bubble dome, and again, a lot of that probably comes from the fact that that was like one of the more famous Batmobile designs in the comics. So they were just going off of the comics at that time. We still have the back fins. These are all different designs we're looking at too, as we can see.
This is
here.
for what again?
Batman '89.
89.
Oh, this is for 89. Okay.
I think it's better.
It's better than
I
the
like
Bob Kane one.
I like the curves in the back fin. It is kind of a little bit more of a realistic interpretation of that panel you showed us for the 82 script.
Mhm.
I'd say that I really like the bottom right one a lot. I think it seems like very atmospheric. So
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, it's a strong B to me. I feel. like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben.
I was gonna say it could fit like a period piece Batman. This one on the bottom right.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it very high praise right now. I would buy this toy. This
bottom
look
right?
especially the top. Actually, for me, the top right.
I think the top right's the most I could see brought to life for the '89
Yeah.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a B for me as well. This is pretty good. Like
Yeah.
I would definitely buy this.
Yeah, I'd say
And
these
love
are
to see it
solid
on
B
screen.
designs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as I said, the one at the top right, for those who aren't able to see the visuals, it's sort of like just a more realistic version of it in terms of the shape of it. We still got like the two fins in the back that would end up being in the final version.
Yeah.
We still got the bat insignia on the the hubcaps and stuff.
Hubcaps,
yeah. So, and a bit of the dome, but it's sort of like it doesn't seem as like sci-fi domey in that one necessarily compared to the Bob Kane one.
Yeah, I can see how that one evolved into the Burton Mobile. Like there is a silhouette there that's really not too far off from it. It almost looks like a mixture between that one and Batman Forever or something without the ribbing on the sides.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a middle fin there in between the two back fins. It's interesting.
Kind of. Oh yeah, I can see what you mean on the left.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, even on the upper right, if you see I see the big fin on the back, which I'm assuming is going to be the two back fins, but there's this other smaller one at the top coming off the dome that I think is kind of like a center fin. So
Yeah.
it's hard to tell from a side view, but I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. And then we got another one from David Russell that we'll go into here. And it's a little... This honestly reminds me of Batman and Robin. A little bit.
does.
We've got sort of the open canopy type of thing. It's not like... It doesn't look like it's 30 feet long like the Batman and Robin one, but we've also
It's
got...
very squatty.
Was it literally 30 feet, by the
I
way?
think I said it was
It's
30
just
feet
so
or 20 feet or
ridiculous,
something like
dude.
that. It was like one of the
20,
longest
I think.
Batmobiles. This It does not have the bat head battering ram, but it does seem to have this bat silhouette in the front with the lights, which again reminds me of the Batman and Robin Batmobile that we talked about last time.
That's an interesting homage in a way.
Symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was little teeth there at first. It kind of looks like teeth.
I did too, yeah.
Like,
was it that Joker mobile with the fucking shattering teeth or some shit?
Yeah,
big
something
face
about
on
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. This one's just slightly more, bulbous? It's okay. I like the other one slightly more, but...
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
not
looks
quite.
short.
Yeah, a little stubby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, this is a C+.
You definitely popped some balloons on the back of it.
It's got a lot of fins, yeah.
Yeah.
Good God. 4, 5, 6. There's 7 fins on the back of that thing.
That's way too many fins. That's true. I agree with that.
It looks almost like a little tin Batmobile that I had in the 90s that was like, I think, based on the comics? Wait, maybe not the 90s, maybe early 2000s. It was like a very specific style, but they had like really pointed fins on it like that. Yeah, it was like a little tin Batmobile that you could keep stuff in. But other than that, I have no feelings about it whatsoever. I don't know. Maybe a C-. I do like these drawings because they are. It looks kind of like black, white color pencil or white charcoal on black paper. So it already has that kind of like atmosphere for a darker Batman and kind of noirish. So I'm already kind of pulled into that. If this was done in color, I don't know if I would like it as much.
Interesting. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a C-, especially with that bat symbol in the front, because I thought it was teeth.
It kind of it looks weird if you think of it as teeth. I could see that too. Suddenly looks like Cars, like Mater Batmobile.
Yes, yes, it does.
Like that one sketch that Andrew and I did that one time.
I think you mean Bat Wheels. What's that show called that they're making?
Bat Wheels, yeah.
Bat Wheels, yeah.
So it's interesting you said that, Zach, because it's like if this were some sort of expressionistic black and white Batman animated movie, this would be kind of cool since we see it. But like if you try to imagine it being brought to life, I'm just like, it's kind of just it's like a stubbier version of the Batman and Robin Batmobile, which was like a C grade for us. So I would say the C is pretty fair for this one.
So Burton looked at probably all these and chose the Anton first one correctly.
We're about to see early versions of that too after this.
Okay.
And it probably evolved too. I mean, if you think about it, like you see like early concept work, and he probably just said like, well, I like certain elements of this and certain elements of that. So I'm sure it evolved.
It's got to have fins and it's got to have tires. It's pretty much
everything
else.
The rest
you can do on your own.
We'll figure it out.
So let's go into the next one. So the next one is closer to what we ended up getting.
Oh, we're getting real
as we
close
mentioned,
now.
Yeah, the famous Batmobile from the Burton films was designed by Julian Caldo, and we're looking at earlier versions of the concept art for it, which proved to be way more complicated than the actual design in the movie. We've got like this extra dome part in the center in one of these.
Yeah.
We've got a pretty accurate version of what would be the shields, and then we've got this weird one that Zach's putting in the square version of the thumbnail.
I did, yeah.
Like it's like a. So for those who can't see it, everyone knows like the center, like almost missile-looking thing in the center of the Burton mobile.
Yes.
This is as if there were 3 of them. This is like a stack of 3. This type of Batmobile. It's weird.
It almost looks like when the in Batman Returns, when it's separating into the little bat missile, it's like the sides are coming off.
Yeah,
but it looks like it just stuck there. So it has like the missile in the center, a small dip on either side of it, and then the other sides of the Batmobile are on the outside of that with the wheels, and it's like 2 domes on each side.
I don't know where Batman sits.
It's very strange. I guess he sits on the. Well, they're in England in Pinewood Studios, so I guess he's on the. Is he on the right
so
side or
there's
the
this
left?
empty
We
seat in the other one?
we assume it's in America though. Gotham is in America somewhere.
Yes.
Well, maybe he's got a little baby steering wheel on the other side for Robin to use, so he thinks he's driving.
Was it like Maggie and fucking the intro in Simpsons, dude?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Here, let Robin think he's driving.
The Danny Elfman theme. Yes.
It looks like
That's
there's
right.
a big ass nose in the way, man. You know, you just
Yeah.
can't see out of this. It's just not good.
Good.
The
This
one
is
of-
like the inferior versions of the same design that we love.
One of the bottom right is like I almost sort of like it, but it's not obviously not as good as the one we got. But it also looks like a airplane. It looks very like aviation kind of design, which is cool.
It's that like turbine shape in the center.
Yeah.
I'd like to see this in some sort of like cyberpunk thing more than Batman, though. This one in the bottom right.
Yeah, it's like a general vehicle.
Yeah, somebody driving down Neo Tokyo or some shit.
I would like a Hot Wheels toy of that one. I think it looks cool.
Yeah,
it's very broad. But yeah, like you said, Ben, you can see the inklings or beginnings of like the final Batmobile and all of these. It seems like they're related to it, definitely.
Yeah.
getting real close here. Yeah,
Getting close, but these are kind of the final iterations before the final one that we ended up getting in the movie. So, out of these, where would we rank this? Let's go with the one on the bottom right, since we keep talking about that one.
Oh, is it me first?
It's a complicated 3-part one. Zach, you had a
give
great.
it a B plus. Yeah.
Okay.
B plus. You like it?
pretty
Wow,
cool.
that's pretty good.
It's higher than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Andrew, what are you going to give it?
We're giving a rank to all of them though, right? Differently or what?
Yeah, we could give the ranks to the other ones too, with the big nose in the center.
Okay. Wait. So if you finish yours out, Zach.
Okay, so definitely a B plus for the bottom right one. I do think it's a really intriguing design. I like the little hints of red in it. I mean, it seems like it still kind of fits in the Burton Gotham, the Anton First Gotham. There's something about it. The ones on the Shield one is fine. Like, that pretty much looks like it does in the film. Yeah. The ones on the left, I would give maybe like a C2 or a C plus. They almost look like a Tiny Toons version or Animaniacs version of the Batmobile. It's just the proportions are a little bit cartoonish, but
right.
Yeah, so it's fun to look at, but I can't imagine it realistically being built that way. It's just a little bit funny looking.
Yeah.
And then the
Andrew?
Shield one?
I just said the Shield one. It's whatever. We'll give it an A or an S. I mean, it looks like the Shield version of the Batmobile in '89. I mean,
But this is.
I don't really think it looks that different.
This is not supposed to be a Shield, though, right? This is it all the time.
I think
it's the concept art for the shields.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I got you.
I think it's fine.
All right, cool. So, bottom right, aviation-looking one. I don't know. It's like C plus B minus territory. I'm do C plus maybe. Nose.
Nose.
Man, I don't like the nose one.
I know it's basically ruins the version that we love.
But the thing is, like, looking back on something and seeing the good version already complete.
Yeah,
you know,
I get it. Yeah.
Like it's the right choices are so obvious to us because we've seen it.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
You see this and it's like this is what it took to get there. So
yeah.
I mean, but just judging this, man, it's like a D, dude.
Oh, wow.
You know that nose fucks it up for me, man, a lot. And the Shield
takes
one
it back to Cars.
Yeah.
Shield one, I guess if it's just if it's the Shield, then yeah, it's like an A probably. I guess if that's what it's supposed to be all the time,
then no, not at all.
It's a
for
B. I don't totally hate it, but it just looks. It's just so outside of a Batman look, I guess. So yeah, I don't know, a C. It's just kind of it's fine.
If the Shield one was for like a different superhero as the main car, like the Gray Ghost or something, then that would be really cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that'd
even
be
the
cool.
shadow.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
It does look like have like a Spectre kind of look. I don't mean the DC Spectre. I just mean like a general Spectre.
Yeah. I imagine it being called like the Silver Ghost or something, and it's that type of stuff, and it's in like the 30s and stuff, and people are like, "What's that?" and everything, but it doesn't seem like it's the Batmobile.
That's cool.
So
Phantom Stranger has a car now, dude. It's gonna be this one.
it's this one. Let me get in my car. So I don't know. To me, the other ones that are not the Shield ones also get C's from me. I'm not a huge fan of either of them. They just seem. I know. I completely agree with what Andrew said about like it's one thing for us to say this as people who've seen or gotten used to the final product, but even like on its own, if you were to put this into a movie, I would just be like, it's just way too busy.
Yeah, exactly.
The nose kind of just makes it look like a funny Tiny Toons thing, like Zach said, and then the other one looks a little too aviation-like. As you said, it might be cool if it was like a Batman and Robin team up in one scene where Batman's on one side, Robin's on the other, and then like it splits off or something like that. But I don't know about the main Batmobile.
That'd be kind of cool.
Or like in Batman Beyond or something.
Yeah,
it's pretty futuristic-y.
If Michael Keaton is doing a Batman Beyond type of thing, this would kind of be a cool like prototype for the Batman Beyond Batmobile, except this flying, that type of thing.
Oh yeah, they're like hovercrafts, right? Like in Fifth Element.
Yeah. So that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
so
cool.
this is brings us to the end of the Batman '89 stuff, because then we got the one that we know and love and put as the S tier in the last episode. So we get that one for Batman '89 and Batman Returns, but then Joel Schumacher takes over for Batman Forever, and they decide to do something a little different. So let's go first into the script version of what we got in Batman Forever, as written by the Bachelors. So it describes that the Batmobile, quote, shoots whitish blue light from underneath the belly. So this idea of the Batmobile having the lights from within actually is in the script. I hadn't thought about that until I went back to the script for pulling up the visuals for this episode. It also says hubcaps and detailing also light up. And then it also says that the blue-white light goes to blue, to purple, then red. The single Batwing splits into two as the car becomes a stealth speed bullet. So this is a very weird combination of two things. One, the Batmobile from Batman and Robin with all the different colored lights that we talked about last time.
Yeah.
And the other is the Bat-Missile from Batman Returns. Almost as if, like, Batman went from Returns where he had to do the Bat-Missile thing, and now he upgraded the Batmobile where it's able to just split off all the time. Something like that. This specific Batmobile did not really get much exploration in any of the concept art that I could find. It's just sort of only in the script. So it's sort of weird to read it in the script because it's hard to get a visual of it. It almost seems like this would be... I was going to say this would be somewhat appropriate to the one that we just saw and talked about with the two... it almost looks like it was about to split, the almost Bat-Missile looking one from 89.
The whole thing about the fin splitting is how it turned out in the movie, though, because of that. We talked about that laughing at the Batman Forever Batmobile, where the fin does split into like two pieces and it's bouncing up and down, and Robin steals the Batmobile and goes out and beats up the face painted gang.
Yeah, so it went from something that helps split the Batmobile into being, quote, a stealth speed bullet, and then became something that just splits and looks like floppy bunny ears for when Chris O'Donnell goes on a joyride. I don't see how that's
aerodynamic. I feel like it'd be more dragged to split into two pieces.
There's no way that helps, really. Nope. I mean, maybe
slows them down.
Some slight spoiler action, with the spoiler's supposed to increase drag on the rear wheels, but other than that, but even then, I'm already thinking about too much. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. What we got didn't make much sense.
Right.
But this picks up speed. The light changes. It makes it sound like it's going through like light speed or something, or like it's what do they call it? Like the red shift or some sort of shift. Going from white to red or whatever. That's kind of interesting. They wrote it like that. But one thing I think about when I read this is like when the screenwriters write this kind of thing, especially with this kind of movie, AAA movie, huge budget, concept designers on top of screenwriters, on top of DPs, on top of directors, on top of Wall Street douchebags, like they're gonna write this here. But then, this concept design, there's going to probably like a ton of concept designers, at least one or two or three, fucking, have their own take on it. And so, like, this is really just the first suggestion of a thing. And it's going to really just take a mind of its own after that,
Yeah.
It's like what we talked about with the Batman 66 thing. The guy that made the Batmobile... he established that Batmobile look without even knowing the whole look of the show. That was one of my interesting takeaways from the last episode for me was like, that's black and red. Even the Bat logo itself is fucking different. And then fucking the show is what? Yellow and blue and gray. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just a testament to film's a collaboration, y'all.
Yep, exactly. And I think
it's a craft.
I don't know if this is necessarily better than what we got in the movie either, from what they describe. I'm like, I prefer if it's just a car. Like, don't have it like split off all the time and have this like multicolor speed up thing that just kind of, it just feels like a weird addition. Yeah.
That's like a hint of the VFX people at the time or something. I don't know. Yeah, they just wanted to highlight the speed of it with the light. I think that's what I'm getting from it.
I think so too.
That's all that is.
So, what would we grade this version? Only existing in script form. We won't be seeing this in concept art.
Zach?
I don't know. It just sounds like a mixture between Batman Forever and Batman and Robin to me, with the color, the lights changing color. I don't know. Too many colors. Giving it a D. I don't know.
You said a D?
I don't have much to say about it. Yeah, I'll give it a D.
But the Bachelors wrote this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's okay. They're not watching this episode.
They're probably not.
Most likely they're not.
They're probably not. But
they probably don't remember they wrote this either. Remember,
they're
this is
so
1994.
Nice. Yeah. They're so nice, man. Shit. You know, I don't hate it. I don't like the single Batwing thing, the Batwing split thing, but
yeah.
It's hard not seeing a design at all. So like,
yeah.
I'm gonna kind of almost a cop out, but I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna give it a C.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go right in between. Like I think it's hard to grade it based off of just the script form, but the ideas in themselves, I'm just like, I don't really see that feeling appealing to me when I see it on the screen. It doesn't really seem to tie in much to what's in the movie at all on this type of stuff. So it's a interesting idea. I think they wanted to be like, hey, it's not like the other Batmobile type of thing. Let's have our own stamp on it. And you know, I admire that, but I also think that it just makes it overcomplicated, and it adds stuff that we're not really that interested in seeing the Batmobile do. So I'll give it like a C-. All right, let's look at the actual designs for it, and let's explore the most famous concept art for an unused Batmobile. I think is the most famous, which is the Batman Forever Batmobile, designed by H.R. Giger. So, Giger was most famous for designing the aliens in Alien, but it looks like at some point in 1994, he was contacted to design a Batmobile for Joel Schumacher, as it says here, and the title even says Batman 3 on it, and it looks weird as fuck. So, it looks...
It's the Batman Mobile.
It also says Batman Mobile with no E at the end of mobile. And Batman is 2 words. But it looks like it's deliberately designed based off of a pair of scissors.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Interesting, but also like, what do scissors have to do with bats? I don't get it. But it's got 4 legs, and each leg seems to have wheels, as well as potentially, I think Batmobile History wrote up that it's also got like grappling guns and stuff on there. So that's kind of weird. And this design carries over into our wide thumbnail that's on the YouTube version, but not these drawings by Giger. So these drawings that we're looking at right now are by Giger, but a few years ago, a man named, I think it's a man, excuse me, but it says Leon Gore is the name. Might not even just be an artist code name, but Leon Gore did the 3D design and models to bring this Batmobile into 3D art. And so that's the one that's in the thumbnail that Zach's used. And we have a few other renderings as well. We have it's set in like almost a very Giger-esque alien world as well here. So basically not the Gotham City of Batman Forever at all. But we have these renderings by Leon Gore on here to sort of look at it being a little bit more brought to life than just the sketches.
I gotta tell you, man, I wouldn't take this entirely one for one. But the Bat Cave here with these fucking faces, like I would have taken some of these elements if I was directing this shit. Like I don't know, it's pretty badass looking.
This is for a completely different movie from Batman Forever, though.
That is true.
It definitely fits. Yeah, it fits with that environment, being able to see it there. And for the listeners at home, it looks like the letter X to me. Like
That
if you
too.
see it from like up
Yeah.
top, it's like the letter X. It's just such a weird idea, especially that going back to that first illustration. It's just like I don't know. I just don't understand why he thought of a pair of scissors, but I mean, you know,
Nothing says Batfleck
it is
a pair of
H.R.
scissors.
Geiger, so whatever. Yeah, it's just like it's strange to me. I guess you could think wings opening and closing, but
That's what I'm
the
thinking.
wheels just look crazy.
Yeah, and
It's weird.
it's such a striking design,
Chill.
but it's just, it's. I mean, they went for Giger for a reason, and they got what they paid for. I think.
Right, exactly.
You know, like this.
Yeah.
What did they expect? You know, this is what he does. But it's just like it just doesn't pass the toy test for me.
Not at all. No.
Like, especially as a kid, this would have just weirded me out way too much. And I don't know.
Do you
It's-
hate this more than the Batman Forever Batmobile? That's what I was wondering when I looked at this, because I'm like, this is the definition of over-designed.
That's a really good question, man. On paper, I might even like this one more than the Batman Forever one. I don't know. I just do not like that Batman Forever one. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I have to think about that. But it is over designed. It just doesn't fit the fucking Batman aesthetic in any universe. Maybe they should make a Gigerverse, you know. And
If there was a
like,
Giger-esque
it's like
Batman,
Alien.
yeah.
If
The
Batman
Giger-esque
goes into a fucking spaceship and fights off an alien, a xenomorph, maybe
Alien
you know?
Joker.
Yeah. If it's on some moon somewhere and he's riding on this kind of thing, it'd be kind of cool actually. But this kind of thing riding around Gotham, it's just so off.
Yeah. It does
I
not.
can't give it an
Xenomorph.
F though. I feel like at the same time, because I don't know.
What if the xenomorph? What if it puts a little chest burster thing in Joker, but when it comes out, it's like a Joker
Joker-ized
xenomorph hybrid?
Dude,
Yeah,
you see
it's a
now we're
Joker
talking.
morph, and then this we could make it work.
What sucks is Disney owns Fox, who owns Alien now, so that's not happening. But that's making me sad because I want to see
fan art. We can make it happen.
There was that Batman Predator fan film too. I guess I could still make a fan film, but
Yeah.
shit, man, yeah.
So this
Anyway,
is a great Batmobile for that project that we just made up.
I give it it's like a D, even D plus territory for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Zach.
I don't know. It's. I guess I should put it under the Tumbler because I do think this is ugly. But at least it's. I don't know. At least it's unique enough that we've talked about it for this long. I mean, it's certainly like a totally different idea. It's just something I don't think anybody could ever imagine for the Batmobile.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it's below the Tumbler, I'll give it a D. But I mean, I can't put it in like goose egg territory because those were just like cars. They were just plain boring ass cars.
Right.
This was like, he came up with a totally original, unique idea.
There was effort. Yeah.
I feel like I could see it in the 90s Lost in Space movie or something like that.
Yeah, that too.
Oh my
Did
god.
was that the late 90s? I see it
Yeah, I
like
think so,
fitting
yeah.
in there somehow. It's
I saw
could
it in the theater.
fit
Yeah.
that aesthetic.
Same.
Yeah, so I don't think it's a good Batmobile, but I do think it's extremely interesting and unique looking. But yeah, I'll give it a lower grade than the Tumbler because I don't like that one either. But at least it works for a Batmobile, I guess.
In some way, yeah.
This is the X-Mobile, yeah.
If this were the like a spaceship in Prometheus, then it would be perfectly fine. But as a Batmobile, it's like yeah, we're in like D territory, you know. But I mean, part of it is because we have some reverence for the fact that it's Giger, so it's like, I don't want to shit on it too much. But as a Batmobile, it's just not what you want. Like, and also, this one from Leon Gore looks like it's got like these guns coming out of the wheels too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, these more guns again, man. but it's like so different. You don't even think about that at first, actually.
Yeah, that's not the first thing you notice. Is the wheels popping out with all these.
Yeah. It looks like it could cut people too in the middle, like it could close and like cut people.
Yeah.
Maybe this is where. This was what for Batman Forever. I was thinking about the scene in Batman '89 where like the Batwing gets the balloons and cuts them in the front with his little pincers. That's what it reminds me of. It's man, it's weird.
There's something to be said about sticking to your artistic guns, though, and just like really, like I don't know, what do you call it? Like respecting somebody's vision, even though it is completely off in this case, but still, there's something. The gears are turning though in some way. Yeah,
exactly. So props for going different, but also thank God it didn't work.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Let's go into the other one. So Giger's designs do not go through, but Barbara Ling and Tim Flattery design more traditional-looking Batmobiles that they actually create models for. So we're going to look at models for the Batmobiles designed for Batman Forever that are actually very different from what we ended up getting from the Schumacher movies, and the fact that they're very retro. Well, at least this one is not as retro as the others, but it's a little bit closer to the Schumacher aesthetic that we would get, but there's no rib cage. There's no lights, flashing lights and that type of stuff. It's a lot cleaner, feels a little sleeker than what we got because of that. A little closer to the traditional Batmobiles that we see in, that we would end up seeing in the movies in comparison to the Giger one, where it was just like, I don't know what the fuck this is. But this one at least looks
Andrew
a little closer
like this one
to
more.
This. Well, what do you think, Andrew?
Oh, the wing's too big on the fucking top one.
the first one. I'm like,
it's way too big.
Yeah.
Well, it's big on the other one too, but it works a little more.
It works better. Yeah, it's thinner too.
This one's got like a mini rib cage thing in the front nose section, but these are, other than the big ass wings, these are pretty all right. These is okay. Yeah. I could totally see this working. Really, I mean, this is like B minus, maybe even a B. Both of them. Though I like the one on the bottom a little bit more because again, a little sleeker.
It is sleeker. Yeah, I could see it fit into the movie more than the top one too.
Yeah, definitely. I think the bottom one to me is an A, maybe an A minus.
Damn,
I think it's a really cool looking Batmobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, like you said, it definitely fits in like the Schumacher Batman world more, and I think they just wouldn't have gone for the top one. It looks a little too like stumpy, and I mean it looks like some of the traditional Batmobiles, but I don't like the short nose on it. I think I'm just accustomed to like. Yes, I think I'm just accustomed to the Burton Batmobile and like that long ass hood and like nose of the car that. I like that more for the bottom one, and it looks more like a bullet shape, like very aerodynamic. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like the silver and black.
I do agree with the like lower B rating. It is sort of weird that the long part is in the back as opposed to the front. I'm just like, why does he need it in the back right there? But this is stuff that like I could see these working in the movie and stuff, and not having sort of the issues that we talked about last time. Let's look at two others that we got here.
Oh, interesting.
Boxy.
Yeah. So the first one we're looking at the top left looks a little kind of a mix of retro, but like retro futuristic type. And then the one on the bottom right, honestly, also looks a little, to me, almost like it's a mix of like Buck Rogers with the Batman and Robin Batmobile in a way. To me personally,
yeah.
Is it supposed to have all the openings in the back? I thought it almost looked like it was unfinished.
What openings?
Well, am I seeing the right thing? Like when you, on the bottom right, when you look at the back of the Batmobile, is that not like openings, or is that just reflected from something around it?
I think that's just a reflection. It's a reflection on.
Oh, okay.
I think it's silver.
It is super high chrome. It just looks like a mirror on the front of it.
Yeah, I don't think they would have gone with that. If they went with this one, it would probably be like a more black-esque. But they were just doing models at this point. What do you guys think?
The first one is an ugly shoe.
That's what he said about the bat suit.
It's
Bale's bat suit.
It does kind of remind me of like a bad shoe or something, but it's really not aerodynamic at all.
No.
There's no smooth edges on there. It's just all blocky and hexagonal.
It looks like it looks like a low polygon count PS1 Batmobile.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Where would you guys rank these?
I give that bottom or the upper left one. I'm gonna give an E. Because I don't like it.
Or first
I don't know. It just is the boxy stuff. I just don't like. It doesn't look good to me at all. And the bottom right one, I guess, is kind of like a D or a C. It doesn't really look like a Batmobile to me. It just looks like a futuristic car with a fin on the back. Like, kind of like we said, that could be like a car in like The Shadow or something like that from the 90s. It just is.
That's true.
If you took that fin off the back, yeah, it's just kind of like retro futuristic. So, yeah. Nothing to write home about.
Andrew?
Okay, so I think I like the top one more, the boxy one more than the other one here. Mm-hmm. But again, I don't know what the deal is with these big ass fucking wings, man. You don't need. It's way too big. If you let's say you make that smaller, and you make the top points of the not the wheel, but like not the hubcap, but the goddamn the shit that's going on top of the fucking wheel, the body form.
Yeah. That
top point.
Yeah.
Take that out, make it a different kind of angle or something. Make it a little bit flatter. I think we're talking.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a lot better.
Yeah.
I think it's those points there that really aren't great for the eye. I do kind of like this design though. I like the kind of boxy look of cars from the 80s too, like you remember like the boxy
like the
Lamborghinis and shit from fucking Ferraris, maybe even from the 80s. You always got those posters from fucking the book fair back in the day. Of those Lamborghinis and shit. Anyway, score-wise, well, as is, it's like a fucking D. But with my customizations, I'd give it a solid.
Your imaginary customization.
A solid B.
Yeah.
At least a B. and then the one on the bottom, it's just too bland, man. It's kind of. I mean, it's retro futurism is what it looks like,
that's what
which
it
is
look like. Yeah.
Cool in and of itself, but as a Batman thing, I don't know, man. The wing's too big on this one too, so this is like a E.
Okay.
E plus.
I'm with Andrew on the top left, where it's just like I do like it better than Zach likes it. It could somewhat fit the Schumacher aesthetic, but it also looks like they took like the front of a black jet plane and then attached like wheels and stuff to it, and then just put a big old fin on the very top. Like it's got potential, but it's not like as a finished product, it would be very underwhelming.
You just can't go under most bridges in Gotham with these goddamn
That's true.
things. Fucking max heights, just way too much.
That's when he drives up the wall. You can't go under the bridge.
That's why that was built in. So
he's avoiding the bridges. Low overhead.
Cut the fin. That would help. Like
I got an answer, guys. We're going to climb up the side of the walls instead of just going under the bridge.
There's a grappling hook that will carry the entire car wing. Right?
Really need this wing.
Yeah.
It's only one wing too.
Just one.
But it splits into two.
The one on the bottom right, that's all chrome and stuff, has these weird like teeth in the front too.
Oh,
it's not even like a rib cage. It's almost like a weird. I don't know what it is.
It's kind of like
that's not necessary.
A grill on a car. Yeah.
Yeah. Like again, like it's one of those. It's like that's the Silver Phantom. That's the Silver Ghost or whatever. That's like the Gray Ghost car, the Shadows car. If you take off the fin too, and then it works perfectly for that. But as a Batmobile, it's a little bland. So yeah, I'd say it's like a C. All right, let's go to the last one, which was apparently supposedly the final design that Schumacher and Barbara Ling signed off on, and yet it's very different from the final product. The front is a lot shorter. It's still got that big ass wing that Andrew hates. There's no rib cage with the lights. It still has this teeth in the front. The canopy is almost dome-like. Actually, now that I'm looking at this basically looks like a black version of the chrome one that we were looking at.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
This was approved for what now?
This is approved to be the design for the Batman Forever Batmobile.
Oh, well,
though obviously they didn't go with this.
Yeah, I would have actually might have preferred this one.
I had a feeling you would. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a feeling
I don't
you
like the
would.
wing,
More sleek.
but this one looks like a toy though, which is cool. It's a lot simpler, and the black and gold kind of reminds me of '89. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I think it's the color.
It looks to me
too that helps that. Yeah.
It looks to me like a combination between those two that you had on top of each other, the Zamboni and the one that I liked.
Zamboni.
It looks like a mixture. It looks like a mixture between those two.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It certainly looks like a cool toy. Like, I would have liked to have had this toy as a kid. I think especially like if the fin was just a little bit lower. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, it's still like very retro futuristic. It's still, take that fin off and it could have been like a shadow.
Like half.
It could have gone along with the shadow like action figure. You could have just had as a like cool little car or something like that.
Gotta customize that shit. Just buy it and then fucking shave it down.
I love it if these models.
I wish it had like the two fins on the back.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, that would smaller
like
and two of them.
Burton one. Yeah, on the sides.
Yeah. Actually, that would be pretty damn good.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. That would be a good toy also.
That's our rewrite of the Batman Forever Batmobile. Is this one?
I wonder if they were trying to avoid that or something. They're just like, we can't put two on the sides. They already did that. You got to put one right in the middle.
I guess, dude.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to evoke the 1940s one where it was like this bat fin on top, though I don't think it was this big. I think it was like half this size.
Who approved it again? Lang?
Schumacher
and Schumacher,
Ling,
right?
Oh, Schumacher and Lang. Okay, but
though
then
obviously
what
it's still
happened?
very different.
There's a story.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any information in terms of how it went from this to the one that we got in the movie with the rib cage and the lights and all that type of stuff. It's weird because like there's not really that much in common it has other than this big ass wing in the middle. Like the front is a lot shorter and stubbier. There's no rib cage except for maybe this teeth looking stuff in there. And then there's this dome thing isn't really in there. There's a canopy in the Batman Forever one, but that seems like it's taken off from the 89 Batmobile, not from this design. Yeah. So
the director himself okayed this, and then maybe he changed
somewhere along the way they came up with something else.
Some guy from Wall Street came down.
Yeah, there is concept art for what would become the Batman Forever Batmobile, and I did not include it because it's basically just the same thing.
It is, yes.
Zach, now all I want is a smaller two-wing version of this. I really feel like that saves it, and it could put it in A territory. Seriously, like it would be great.
It would be really easy to just Photoshop that wing out and like put two little ones on the sides there. I think.
I had a feeling, Andrew, you would like this one way more than the Batman Forever Batmobile that we got because. Like, this still fits the aesthetic, and then there's kind of something retro about it that fits the fact that they're going off of, like, the 1940s and Silver Age comics in Batman Forever. So I'm like, I would have really liked this in that. It's not as good. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not overly designed. Like, it's almost under-designed. It's, it's cool. It's simple forms and shit. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. It still
give it an A, Andrew?
Yeah.
I would give it an A with my imaginary redesign.
Okay.
Well, it was your idea, really.
I'm going to give it an A like that too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'd give it a solid B+, and then probably A territory if we put a little bit more of the stuff Andrew was talking about. So,
it was Zach's original idea, but yeah.
Or Zach and both of you guys in terms of the redesign on that.
We'll copyright it right now.
Yeah.
We'll just remake Batman Forever with this stuff and the Batcave scene. And then we'll be good.
Just poorly Photoshop in the still of this car with the adjustments, driving like on top of the Batmobile in every scene.
What's that fan cut? The red letter cut or something?
The Red Book edition.
The
Red Book edition. Yeah, just put that in that cut, man. The perfect cut.
The perfect Schumacher cut. We're like, what the hell is this?
You had no idea.
The superhero stuff you should know edition. It's just this Batmobile.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, as we discussed in the last episode, Barbara Ling didn't seem satisfied with the Batman Forever design, so she decided to go for redesigns for Batman and Robin, and this is an early redesign for the Batman and Robin Batmobile.
The fuck is this?
Designer Harold Belker.
That is a toy.
This is a goat. It looks like a ghost.
It says, quote, although certain features such as open cockpit, vertical headlights, and fender ridges were kept in the final design, this is according to Batmobile history, other ideas such as the aggressive nose and single rear fin never made it off the drawing board. So we've got this, again, it's the big fin thing that almost looks like it's got these like teeth to it right here.
Like a comb.
From what we could see. Yeah, it looks close to a
What perspective is this? This is off, right, Zach?
Yeah. This is, I think, some magic, art magic here. This is not a true perspective that you could see in real life.
Yeah, right. It looks long in the front and scrunched up on the side, and the back is like, the back teeth thing is looking off, too. It looks like fucking Shaggy and Scoob and the gang are searching for this guy. You know, like this is it's just not good, dude. This is goose egg, bro. Goose egg. We made it to the goose egg of this episode.
I don't remember if I showed it in our toy episode, but I think Legends of the Dark Knight or Legends of the Batman had a Batmobile, and it was silver. And it looked an awful lot like this one as far as its shape goes. In fact, there is a picture of Joel Schumacher holding it up. I've seen pictures of him holding up the toys before, and it's that Batmobile. But it reminds me of it as far as like the shape. And I think Legends of the Batman had the long years Batman, so it kind of reminds me of that.
Dude, this one just freaking me out almost.
We know what your grade is for this one, Andrew. It's a goose egg.
Goose egg, yeah.
Zach?
It's the Batmobile of the 90s.
Yeah, okay.
My cat's ass is all in the camera here. All right.
Looks better than this.
I would give it a D.
Okay.
It's ugly, but it also looks like a toy from the 90s, and I'm thinking of that right now, so I'm giving it a little bit of grace. Yeah, it's not very pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, I'll give it an E, maybe an F. Like it's not great. Part of it is the fact that this part is like really stubby between the two wheels, so it looks like it's like a foot in between one wheel to the next. So that part looks really off.
Yeah,
but
it's totally off, dude.
It also doesn't really fit. Like the way the Batmobile history described it was the aggressive nose. I'm like, there's an aggressiveness to this that, in terms of the Batmobile of the '90s, that just doesn't fit the Batman and Robin take on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe if this were for Batman Unchained, I wouldn't have gone with this one. But like this would make a little bit more sense if this was for a darker sequel. But for Batman and Robin, I'm just like, this doesn't seem like the right one. I think we got a better one in the final film in Batman and Robin in comparison to this concept art. So that is the last one when it comes to the 90s era Batmobiles, but not the end of the Batmobiles. We'll cover the rest after the break.
Lord have mercy, y'all. Do you like hounds? Do you enjoy pooches? Do you find yourself enjoying time spent with that of canines? Talking about dogs, y'all.
As you might have heard, Superhero Stuff You Should Know has now teamed up with BarkBox. For every month, you get a box for your special canine.
Pooches.
Or hounds.
That's right. One free extra month if you go to barkbox.com/superherostuffpod.
Follow the link and you'll get a free extra month valued at $35 and valid for all multi-length plans.
So get the BarkBox for your hound, for your pooch, for your canine.
Your doggo will thank you. All right, we are back, And so is Batman, because after Batman and Robin, we had a long hiatus for Batman, and WB wanted to revitalize the franchise. So they tried Batman Unchained. Didn't happen. Batman Dark Knight. Didn't happen. And then a director named Darren Aronofsky came along and wanted to do Batman Year One, and had a vision for the Batmobile that we're going to talk about. It was never made, but we could have gotten this. So, this is a concept art that we're looking at from Drax Hall Jump Studio for supposedly the Batman Year One Batmobile. I'm going to say supposedly due to something else that happened later. But let's go for what it was described as in the script. It's described as a black Lincoln Continental. Quote, windows tinted opaque, heavy steel bumper modifications have been welded to the chassis. The hood has been chopped back to make room for the supercharged school bus engine that powers it, and it drives without headlights, like a car possessed, reckless, and demonic. So
it's so metal at the end. Like for people that are just listening, the "like a car possessed" is in all caps. Like they were not fucking around with this with this script, dude. I do appreciate that thoroughly.
It seems like the best representation of the description is the one at the top. Like the top, like third, or not even third, but top sixth right here of that, which kind of looks slightly along the lines of the Batman Batmobile. Burton. If we take, and Burton, if we take out the huge ass like circular afterburner and engine stuff.
Yeah.
But so that's a little bit closer, and then we get into some crazier designs. This one is absolutely fucking ridiculous with this huge ass bat head with the ears that look like it would obstruct your vision as you're driving. So that's there's no fucking way they would have done that one. I don't know what they were thinking of that.
It's possessed, Ben. It doesn't need to. You don't need to be able to see to drive it.
Demonic, bro. Come
demonic.
There's no headlights.
Like a car possessed. Yeah.
I love it. I love that one.
It's striking.
Got that Ra's al Ghul head on the front.
Oh, head of the demon on the. It's the head of your. It's the head of your car there.
It doesn't even look like a bat. It looks closer to that. Yeah. Jesus.
Oh right. Man.
So we still got the fins in the back. We even have a center fin like the Schumacher stuff in this smaller one right over here. But yeah, these are various concept art from Drax Hall Jump Studio. Supposedly, because in a 2013 tweet, Darren Aronofsky said, quote, by the way, none of that Year One Batman art circulating the web originated from mine or Frank Miller's work, so can't take credit or blame for it. So it's a little unclear then what the hell this is. Like, some speculate maybe this was for like toy designs when they found out that Year One was a go. However, like, we can't ignore the fact that the script is still out there and does describe the Lincoln Continental. It basically describes it as a Lincoln Continental with a school bus engine in it. So that seems to be represented the most at the top here with this design.
Can school buses go fast?
A big ass engine on a smaller car, yeah, I would assume.
It would. The bus itself, not so much. Yeah.
All right.
What's a school bus engine? A V8, V10, S. Wait,
Exactly,
for which one? Oh, just the big head
The
one.
one
Big
with
ass
the
head.
demon head on the front. Man, that looks so cool. That's probably my
S
favorite
tier,
thing
huh?
I've seen so far.
S.
Yeah,
wow.
I don't think it's practical. I don't think it's practical at all. I just love the way it looks. I want a little toy of it right now.
Okay.
If we could get toys of these unused Batmobiles, that would be awesome.
That'd
For
be
anybody
sweet.
who makes that type of stuff, please contact
There's people
us.
that make custom action figures and sell them all the time.
Yeah, like Robert.
Really niche shit.
Yeah.
But like if they were to do vehicles somehow, that'd be cool. Internet, please get on it.
I'm sure people do it.
Robert,
Yeah,
please
right?
give us something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give
I can't
Zach
go
all
S
the
on
Batman.
any of these, by the way. I can't.
didn't
I
think
mean, they're cool. They are cool. I understand the head is striking and all that. But the two top ones, I assume the top one and the one on the right is like the same car.
Yeah, these like three, I would say, are like along the same lines of what they were talking about in the script. So I would say it's
Kind of
pretty much
showing
the same
different
car.
options.
It's about
Different
an A.
options.
About an A or A minus that one. I do like that one. I would buy a toy of that. I kind of like the idea of two afterburners too, It's not really out of the question. I mean, you know, it makes it's still, what do you call it? Symmetrical and whatever. It's that's how it is on some jets, I guess. I don't know. It's cool. I mean, yeah, I totally get it. The other ones, they're okay.
I like that turbine on the top ones.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It reminds me of the Burton one.
Yeah, especially this front one.
Yeah, it's kind of like exactly. It looks almost like a regular car with just like a jet turbine going through the center of it. And out the back, it's like the afterburner. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the jet turbine is connected to a school bus engine, which is then in turn connected to 2 afterburners. Fuck yeah!
You don't know how mechanics work, Andrew.
You must not know science.
Bruce is working as a mechanic in that year 1 script, for those who aren't familiar with it. So that's why that could be a thing. But I do kind of like this stripped-down version of the Batmobile that, again, sort of feels like that's the direction they're going in for the Matt Reeves version. So for the top ones... yeah, I'll give it a high B on that. And then these others, like, you'll never find a bigger fan of the bat head battering ram on the Batmobile than me, but this is just fucking ridiculous on this.
That's funny. I'm gonna be a little sacrilegious here. I don't totally love the battering ram thing, but I know I understand it's a part of the Bat mythos, Bat tradition. But I don't know, man. I can see why they haven't put it. This is just I haven't put it in live action. But if they did it, I wouldn't complain because that's how it was for a long time.
Yeah.
But maybe if it kind of retracted and could come up just to
grows out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my issue with the battering ram is just like always there, like this big ass head on it, like. I don't know. That's just me. I know there's a lot of. I know Ben. I know you love it, Ben. And Zach, you probably do too. But yeah, you obviously do.
I just like this one.
Yeah, this.
You only I like
this one. I like the design of it. It does look like a little demon mask, or I don't know. It's like a cool little simple face on it, in a good way.
It just looks like that Ra's al Ghul action figure that has that mask.
It's not Ra's al Ghul's car. It's the Batmobile.
Batman took it. He took it from Ra's al Ghul and he stuck it on the front of his car and said, "Here." He made him his bitch.
This isn't even the same Batman. This is the Batman who grew up on the streets and is a car mechanic. It's not the same when it goes to Ra's.
No. He came across him at one point.
Ben, the journey that was this episode when you regaled me with the Aronofsky script, I think I wasn't alone, hopefully, as some of the, I was similar to some of the listeners in that the first 20 minutes of it or so, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is some bullshit 30 minutes in. And then like by the end, it's like, damn, do they need to make this? This is like really, really good.
It was good.
It was good, yeah. I think most people who criticize it have not actually read it. They just hear that, like, ironically, they hear Bruce Wayne's not rich and they're just like, well, in that case, that's fucking bastardization. I say ironically, given the criticisms we went over in our episode about whether or not Bruce Wayne should donate his money instead of fight crime. But
dude,
I feel like he'll be more popular now.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm just saying that I feel like that idea would be more popular now than it was back in like '99 when they first wrote this.
100%. And like outside of any political shit at all, after doing this podcast for so long now, I think I'm firmly in the camp of I want Batman to just be like kind of rich. I don't need Wayne Enterprises anymore, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like he's got family ties. You know, they're rich. They maybe got a couple million in the bank, but they're not like fucking like, multi-billionaires, I just feel it's a little much.
I think it's just basically it's plot device, really. Like, where does he get all the money to be able to do stuff? Well, I guess he's rich. Yeah. Like, it feels like that's literally what Bill Finger came up with.
But even with let's say the family's got $50 million in the bank. But it's not an Enterprises thing. It's not like billions. It's still enough to fucking build a custom Batmobile and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Batcave, though.
Yeah, you can still
do
already
it.
There.
It's already there. Extension cords to run down there.
Oh man. Anyway, that's a tangent.
Alfred's an old fella.
That's a tangent.
Another trip to Home Depot, sir.
Yes,
All right,
indeed.
so-
And Lowe's.
So that was the Batman Year One stuff, and as we know, we didn't get that. We got Batman Begins instead, which is our next Batmobile. Are we ready to see an early version of the Tumbler?
Oh my God! I don't know
Could
if
it
Zach
be worse?
Here we go.
What?
So
I
this
told
gets
you.
a goose egg.
Oh,
This is. I
it's
mean,
a big
obviously.
Oh,
Rotten
silly
goose
putty.
egg.
This looks like the stuff from Ghostbusters 2. This is like just.
Wait a second, though.
Pink.
In the special features, didn't they say they, instead of drawing, they were sculpting little clay sketches or something?
So this is what this is.
Yeah.
Instead of having concept art for the Tumbler, what I have are pictures of models that were made, and this is a clay model from designer Nathan Crawley out of red clay. It is not very flattering at all of what it would end up looking like, but I just thought it'd be funny to add this one in because it technically is an early design of it, but it's not really like it's just an idea of it. But I think it's meant to look primitive. It's not meant to be. I don't think he really wanted it to look like this. You know,
Looks like a piece of a brain cut out because of the color and
a little bit of the ridges. Yeah,
the ridges and shit. I mean, this is.
this is goose egg.
I work with sculptors, dude. You know, this is just not good, man.
Yes. All right,
Yeah.
so let's talk about the real stuff. So according to the
Okay.
art of Batman Begins, the Batmobile was the first assignment that Nolan gave to designer Nathan Crawley. He asked for a fusion of a Hummer and a Lamborghini Countach, sorry.
The Lamborghini, then.
So Crowley went off, purchased hobby model
Much more
kits
so.
of these cars, yes, and then he used both of these vehicles along with the cockpit of a P-30 airplane model, and the result of the first model, real model, not the clay stuff, is this, which you can kind of see the DNA of the Tumbler already.
Pretty close. It's
Yeah,
pretty close.
We got the two wheels in
Yeah.
front, but they're maybe a little closer together than in the movie. And then you've got this thin cockpit instead of what we got in the film as well. You know, where there was a little bit of an opening for that like armored mode, not really armored mode, but like the tactical mode when he like goes into like the other cockpit that's a little closer to the front in the movie. And
This
then a
looks
revised
nothing like a
version-
Batmobile.
it still looks nothing like Batmobile, yeah. And then a
No.
revised version that became closer to the movie is this model, which basically looks like the Tumbler, but what I think is interesting is the main difference is this bronze hue in the front that sort of gives off the bat head look that we saw in the other episode, where there was like sort of a design of the bat head with the wings in front. I don't think it's necessarily a replacement for the bat head being, you know, the bat head battering ram, but in looking at this, I'm just like, oh, I can kind of see like maybe that was supposed to be intentional, as opposed to just like, oh, somebody just saw that in it, because you never know with these where people just might claim like, oh, there's the bat design in it, but this might hint that might have been slightly more intentional, or maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know, but this is a little bit closer to the Tumbler. I thought it was worth sort of going over this a little bit in there because obviously this is still a huge upgrade from this.
Yes.
This is just ridiculous,
The red
dude.
clay.
I mean,
It's like they gave him 5 seconds to make it. And they
it
just
really
like,
does
okay,
look
here we
like literally 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
maybe that's all he had. You know, we don't know. We
go.
weren't
Maybe.
there.
Nolan's like, here's some clay. You showed me the Batmobile in 5 minutes. And that'll
I'm
be
Held
going
enough
him
to
at
hire you."
gunpoint. Yeah.
I'm going to take a piss. When I come back, you better have a fucking Batmobile ready for me. I'm Nolan.
It's like, oh, fuck. So, yeah. I don't know if it's really worth grading these, because this is pretty much just like, it's the Tumbler. Like, it's the same thing, pretty much. It's slightly different in like the little things, but it's mostly the same.
Yeah. Bruce Wayne asked Lucius Fox, "Does it have a cigarette lighter? Does it come in black?"
For my
That's
heavy
what he said.
smoking.
Callback.
That's why my voice sounds like this.
Yeah, that's hilarious, man. I love that you can't get over the fucking cigarette lighter.
That was the best. Well, okay, so that the demon's head was really cool, and the cigarette lighter, that's probably been my best thing so far. Best takeaways.
It is like the best tech that the 90s have. Computers, satellites, cigarette lighter. You know, it's
In
just
your car.
Don't worry, Silver. I've got my own cigarette lighter. It's couldn't ride in the Batmobile for 2 seconds without wanting to smoke? Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, we don't
dude.
really have any early designs for the Zack Snyder stuff. So I think what we got was pretty much what they had in mind from the very beginning, at least as far as we have right now. But we have another Batmobile, one that Andrew and I discussed in Titans, in a recent Patreon. And
Wait, we got to grade this. We're going to give it, I'm giving it an E.
You want to grade this one?
It's a E to F territory.
For which one? The clay?
Oh, well, that's goose egg. That's a goose egg minus.
I agree with. Okay, so this one with a thin cockpit. You're giving an E?
What'd I give the Tumbler? C something?
I think it averaged out to a C in that episode.
It averaged a C.
Our individual ones. I think you and I gave it C's, and Zach gave it a D.
I'm not gonna give it a higher score. I give it a C, but I'm a fan of like aviation design. I think a lot of people are, and like the cockpit is kind of cool.
I agree with that. Yeah.
But
yeah.
Other than that, it's just not great. It's just, again, it's not a fucking Batmobile, dude.
This is like Mad Max Fury Road.
Something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll give it a D as a Batmobile. How about you, Zach?
I'm gonna give this one an F. And
not quite goose egg.
No, not quite a goose egg. Like, it still is interesting looking, and I would give the next one a D because it is essentially just like the Tumbler.
Yeah, this is basically the Tumbler with just slightly different coloring in the front.
Looks like crumpled up paper.
Yeah.
Construction paper or something.
Not streamlined at all.
Yeah.
Do we still want to grade this? To me, this is basically the Tumbler, so I would just give it the same thing.
Yeah. Maybe
give it the same stuff. So Zach gives it a D, and Andrew and I give it C's.
Yeah, something like that. C minus.
Now
anyway,
we'll go
move
into
on.
Yeah. So Andrew and I talked about this in a recent Patreon, but there was a Batmobile that we did not put in the rankings because it was never used on screen, never driven on screen, even by Batman, and it shows up basically as a background prop, and that's the one in Titans. In the episodes Jason Todd and Dick Grayson. We only really got a slight look at it in those episodes, but we did get a look from designer John Gallagher on his Facebook page, which is what our research assistant Dan put together for us here on the slide. So it's a bit of the sort of George Barris, Lincoln Futura look to it with like this domed windshield. There's a bit of a red streak here that you'll see better in the next image that I'm showing. And there's even got the 66 stuff on the caps.
That's cool.
It looks like that mixed with the Bruce Wayne custom coupe. I like it.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's a little plain, but it would have been fine. Though I did say in that Patreon that I think it's kind of pointless to just have it in the background. They could have just gotten one of the Batmobiles from the back lot. But if they did that, we wouldn't have gotten all the concept art we're about to go through in this episode. So there is a shit ton of concept art for this Batmobile that was just a prop in Titans, and we're going to go through every single one. So
I like the Ace Chemical ad up there.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
they're having fun with that.
This looks like this is one of the Arkham environments in the video game, and he kind of just photoshopped this in there or something. Yeah,
yeah, that's true.
This looks like a Hot Wheels toy.
Yeah, I'd be cool with this one.
Yeah, it's all right.
So let's go through the different ones that were proposed, as ridiculous as it is, proposed to be in the background. We got this one.
Oh, hints at the battering ram.
Yeah, just a little bit of the hint there in the front.
Hints.
This feels very classic. It feels like a Batmobile from the Timverse, but not the actual Batmobile from the Timverse. The Batman the Animated Series. Like, it almost has that feel to it to me.
It has like the yellow headlights from the Burton-mobile too, but it has two sets of headlights, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't think the Burton ones are needed because the front ones almost are like
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if those are needed either. I said the
they're
bottom ones
headlamps and fog lights or some shit, man. Come on, dude.
I guess so. It's funny looking.
Yeah. But I like this one okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
I'd give it a B. How about you guys?
Yeah,
B minus maybe.
Yeah.
I like these designs so far. I guess it's because they do seem like that custom coupe thing. So it's kind of like the Batwoman Batmobile. I like that one.
Well, I'll show you something that's not like the custom coupe. this one.
Oh, interesting. I mean, you hate it, I guess, but I don't mind this.
Looks like a turtle.
I'm surprised you don't mind this, Andrew, since I wouldn't say this is sleek to me. It feels very stubby. But it's better than some of the other ones we've been talking about.
It's sleek enough, I think. I mean, yeah, it's maybe overly futuristic, but it's... this is a solid B for me, I think. This is okay. I like this okay.
There's kind of almost a face at this top part here, too.
Yeah, I keep looking at that.
It's a little stubby, but I like the two wings on the back, and like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, this one kind of works for me.
Zach, you don't like it so much?
No, I would give it like a D+ or a C-. Something about it. It doesn't. I don't like the kind of the separated plates on the top, and I see what you're saying about the face. It just is like a weird look to the hood of this car.
It's the Decepticon Batmobile.
It is, yeah. That's exactly right. It looks like a Decepticon.
That's cool.
No.
The more you describe it, I'm liking it more.
See, I think this all comes down to being subjective as far as our taste goes, too, because I really like that Demon Head one, and Andrew didn't like it.
Yeah.
He likes this one, so it's,
I mean, there were some things I liked about the head, but it's just a little bit too big.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought that was the best incorporation on the other one of the head. Like, it's so subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. That's cool little, design homage or whatever. But with this, like, God, man, like, I mean, maybe if it was Batman Beyond or something, like, it's like a Blade Runner Batman. Like, this is not bad at all, really, for me. I like the cyberpunk kind of shit. So, as for like it fitting in like Burton like Art Deco Gotham, it's not good at all.
Yeah.
But I think my head is still in sci-fi land when I see this. So
I think it's just the hood that I don't like. If I just don't pay attention to that, maybe if it had like kind of another kind of dome or something, I would like it more. But it's this weird, like, the grill is metal grill separated plates are mixed with like orange. I guess that's the like windows.
Face.
I don't know how you see out of it.
This looks like it. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Unless this window is just separated, but I don't think that's very smart.
It looks like the center is kind of barred in it, but that's also a window.
Yeah.
That's the windshield.
Could be, yeah. And then this is like a canopy that goes up and it's kind of tank-like inside. I'm just guessing on this.
Tank car, yeah.
I'm gonna I'll be in between you guys. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
I'm just gonna say I'm in between you guys on the rating. I don't like it as much as Andrew, but I don't hate it as much as Zach does, which I think is where I'm usually at with a lot of these. So I'll just give it like a fair C. It's
fair.
Like, it's not super great, but like I wouldn't complain necessarily if this was used in Titans because it somewhat fits that compared to the retro ones that we were looking at earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Did Terry McGinnis have a fucking Batmobile?
Yeah, it flew around.
Yeah, the flying one.
Oh yeah, okay. All right,
let's go into the next one. This one's okay. It's not as busy as the previous one. We've got some of the more subtle versions of the the bat emblem on the wheels here, so that's kind of cool. It looks like almost
tank tread
type wheels. I was gonna say The front reminds me a lot of the Batman the
Animated series. Yeah,
that's true. That is true.
I think it's a B+, maybe even an A-. I think that's cool looking.
To describe this to the listener, it's like it's really kind of reminds me of the 89 one, sort of like the proportions are, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely
long
like
part,
yeah, there's really based on that and but a little bit more amped up. Looks like it's got some big ass off-road wheels in the back, and no wings. But this one is pretty cool. I don't hate this one at all. This is like a B minus maybe.
I honestly like this one a little more once I noticed the BTAS front. I'm not gonna lie.
It's kind of like a mixture.
Yeah. It's got that plus a little bit of the tint qualities from the Tumbler, but in a more traditional Batmobile.
Yeah. This, I mean, if I could see myself maybe getting this toy as well. Yeah. That's really the highest remark.
Toyetic, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
when
you,
I think about
Freakazoid.
it, I like this more the more that I look at it. I think when I first glanced at it, because there's so many of these, I'm just like, it's okay. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know what? This is kind of a cool mix of, you've got the 66 stuff of the Bat emblems on the wheels, you've got the Tumbler type stuff. It feels like a more successful fusion of the Tumbler with the traditional Batmobile than what the Snyderverse did, personally, to me.
Yeah.
Partially because of the the BTAS front, and there's no giant gun on the front either, so that helps as well.
Yeah. Bale should have driven this around, dude.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been a little bit better, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd give this one a solid B.
Cool.
Now we've got this Lamborghini-esque version.
Is this fucking real? This looks like it's fucking like art. This is a real car?
I mean, none
concept art.
These are all concept art.
This is concept art. It's
yeah.
Really. This is in the uncanny valley for me, dude. This is,
I think it's
something
the perception.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a very skinny, like flat car. Like it's something about the proportions. Like if you turned it to look at the front, I feel like it would be like this wide, like 2 inches wide. There's something about it.
Yeah, it looks very photoshopped in there.
Let's describe it for the listener again. I feel bad. We need to describe all this stuff.
Tough stuff, but it's like a blue Lamborghini with like bigger wheels in the back than in the. Well, it kind of looks like it's got bigger wheels in the back than the front. The perspective's a little off. And these yellow front headlights that are kind of reminiscent of the Burton Batmobile.
It's like separated
navy
plating,
blue.
Navy blue, separated plating, like what Zach was saying about the other one, and it's like a utility Lamborghini.
Yeah,
kind of vibe.
It's ugly for the viewer at home.
It's the only one that's blue and yellow, though.
Well,
that's true.
That's true.
Which is interesting.
It is accurate to the older comics in terms of that shade of blue. That's a good point. Actually, I hadn't thought about that.
Even if it was black, it still is ugly. It is like something about it. I see what you're. It's hard to explain the separated plating because it's like the cockpit or like the interior of the car. So like the doors on the sides and I guess you would say like the windshield. Seems like it's set in further than the rest of the car.
yeah.
It's just weird looking.
Yeah, it's a little off, and it looks like that catches a lot of air, which is not good.
And bugs too.
And bugs, like
and that back part. Yeah.
Goddamn mosquitoes getting in my jaw. So, if we were to customize this, take away the separated plating, and then add a little bit more of the two wing in the back, I think I've noticed I'm a big fan of that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Two wings in the back. The wheels are the best part of this, I think, and the color scheme.
Yeah.
It's like if we had those modifications, I think we're around B+ to A for me. But as it is, I don't think I hate it as much as you guys, honestly. But it's not. It's like a C- D+.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach?
I think it's a D. I don't hate it enough to make it an F. It just is kind of like unfortunate looking. I wish I had a 3D model of it so I could just turn it around and look at the front because it looks like it was distorted. Yeah, and it just looks like too skinny.
3D models or toys or replicas of all these Unmade stuff just to get a better feel for all of them. As it stands, I'll give it a C. Like, it's okay. It's definitely not my favorite. I once Andrew mentioned the blue stuff, I'm like, I probably would elevate it a little bit just for that, honestly. But I mean, if you put that color on anything else, those Batmobiles would look cool too. So, like, if this were black, if anything, it would probably look more generic if it was black.
That's true, because you got the really dark tint windows here on this one as well. So
if
black
it's
on
just
black,
all black,
like that.
It would just look not very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take a look at this next one. This one, I almost want to describe like a shark. It's very smooth looking.
Interesting.
It is.
You've got this. You've got another subtle hood with the bat shape here, with the bat head, where it's just kind of part of the grill.
Yep.
With this sort of silver line that goes, I don't know if it's really necessary, a silver line that goes from the grill all the way to the back.
Fin,
that ends into the fin. And then we've got some red lining along the windshield that kind of, again, gives off that George Barris vibe. And I don't know how else to describe it. Again, for some reason, I just want to say shark because it just looks very...
Yeah, it looks like a manta, like a black manta or something to me.
Like a gray alien, also. There's like...
yeah.
To me...
Yellow lights in the front, yeah.
I like the lights being turned vertically. That's kind of interesting instead of like being horizontal. So
yeah,
it looks cool.
The colors, the grayish color, I think is kind of off for me. Like maybe it's supposed to be more of a, I don't know what color it's supposed to be, but again, it's also for people listening, it's like a retro futuristic, like it could have been like a, I don't know what the fuck, like an old Cadillac or Coupe de Ville. No, maybe not that, but anyway, something about it is like 50s, sort of, to me.
But it's all smooth. Yeah, everything is just smooth, like completely smooth. There's no lines of doors to get in. I guess the windows just pop open. It's completely aerodynamic, yes.
Yeah.
Dive in, Robin. So it's, I'm wondering if this would look better with that blue we were talking about. Because I know you said that the gray sort of feels off to you, and I think maybe that's what's creating the sort of shark feel to it to me.
Yeah.
But if this were blue, it would probably be, I would rank it a little higher from that color-wise.
What do you give it, Zach?
I don't know. Maybe like a B. I don't really...
You really like that much? Wow.
I don't hate it as much as the last one. I feel like just looking at this one is an improvement. But it's definitely weird. It's I would say like a C plus then. It's not like my favorite or anything out of the ones we've looked at for just the Titans Batmobile prop. Yeah, it's just strange, I guess. Not as weird as Geiger's design.
Yeah, that one's gonna win the award.
Yeah, this is it's different. I wouldn't if I saw this, I wouldn't think it was a Batmobile. Especially if you couldn't see that little thing on the hood. It just kind of looks like a slick car. Yeah. A shark car.
The Black Manta Mobile.
I think to me it's the fins as well as this bat grill that really
it does have little fins, yeah.
Yeah, in this back here.
Barely can see them, yeah.
The headlights with the grill kind of make it weird because now that I'm looking at it, it looks like a weird face with the eyes being the lights and the grill being like this mouth that's open in like a weird like sea creature face. But...
okay, interesting. Yeah, I see that kind of now.
You know, it kind of reminds me of the New Adventures of Batman Batmobile, except like a little more bloated looking. Like, if you can imagine that in your head, it's that was a kind of a sleek design. Yeah,
yeah. I'd give this one a B or so, like B minus maybe.
I'm not trying to be contrarian, guys, but I really don't like this one. This is like an E for me. I don't like this middle. I don't like this middle stripe.
The strip I don't like. Yeah.
I don't like the colors. I don't like the fucking hubcaps or whatever, the rims. Like, there's... Yeah.
The hubcaps do not match this car at all, like as sleek as it is, yeah.
I like the homage to the battering ram, okay, but, I mean, it's just not for me. This one's not for me, guys.
All right, let's take a look at this next one.
Yeah.
Your own unique butterfly.
So,
there we go.
My own little goose egg.
This one's got
all to my own.
This next one
we're looking like Batman and Robin.
Yeah, it's like a chrome, but more like solid version of Batman and Robin. There's none of the lights in the front. The main weird thing I can see is that it's got a silver W in the front. And I'm like, well, that seems like it's a fucking giveaway, doesn't it?
That's for Watman, then.
What man?
So if that was like maybe like a bat design on the hood, then sure. But I'm like, what the fuck is a W doing there? So that's weird. But everything else about it is a little bit more traditional.
Yeah,
feels a little bit more like Batman, to me a better version than the Batman and Robin car.
Yeah.
It's covered, unlike the Batman and Robin car. It's still got the two fins in the back. It seems like it's got a combination of the Batman and Robin qualities as well as the '89 quality of just the general like sort of shape of it.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think? That much, huh?
I like it.
You like it.
Yeah. I think without the W, it's definitely really cool, and I agree. It looks like a combination between the 89 Batmobile and the Batman and Robin 1997 kind of like roadster that he was driving around in. I don't mind the kind of like grill it has with the lines and everything and the lines on the side. Honestly, it looks like they just went out of their way to make it look like that one, the 89 Batmobile, but add just some, extra little details and textures so it wasn't exactly the same. So I think it looks fine. I don't find it upsetting.
Andrew?
It's okay. It's it looks a lot like, well, I mean, you can tell it's really based on the 89 one, which is cool. I don't know what it is. Like, it's just when the front's so long, or when the canopy is just like on the back wheels. I don't know. Like if they put it in the middle a little more, I think I'd like it more. I think that's the
like of 89.
Yeah, that's my main gripe here. These really long fronts really don't do it for me. But I mean, other than that, it's like pretty solid. Other than the W.
He'd be hitting little old ladies and not even know it by the time they got to the back wheel, as far back as the canopy is.
I think there might be something going on with the design. Looking at all these now, like maybe they think that the canopy has to rest in between the two wings, so that's why that's like the only reason it's in the back. But like the wings are just too separated from the canopy. But still though,
looks like it's really awkward to get in.
Yeah. But the otherwise the design pretty cool overall. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, maybe it's a C+, guys.
B-, I think, or C+.
Yeah, I'll be around like a B- on this. Like if we move the canopy a little further up, and if that W was like just a bat instead.
Yeah. Like, can we please get Wayne's name off of this thing?
I overlooked something.
Yeah. I know it's not supposed to be the most realistic thing in the world, but still.
All right, so moving on into the next one.
Oh.
So this is almost like a stealth fighter jet, but as a car. This is, I think, the best way to describe this.
Okay, it's interesting.
I'm not really sure what's going on in the front here.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of open spaces.
It's just opened. Yeah, where it's just almost like this mouth.
That's open, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty fucking weird. We've got these fins that are almost like, I don't know. It's almost like, again, like a stealth bomber type, where it's not quite the same sharp wings to it, from what I can see. And then with the dark, I don't know, it's sort of lit dark too, so it's a little tough to see what's going on this, but we're doing our best to describe it. It's still somewhat blue, so there's that. And then we've also got red. We've got these red wheels.
Red hubcaps.
Red hubcaps right there.
Blue and red, everybody.
That's kind of weird on it, but
it's also floating above the road. That's what it looks like anyway.
The vertical wheels, just like gravity wheels, just like in the Batman Live one, maybe.
Engage.
I don't think they were thinking about that.
Yeah.
All right. What do you guys think of this one? I think it's a little hard to tell what's going on in this, but on first glance, you can kind of get an impression.
Yeah. I don't hate it as much as those other ones that I didn't like, but it's running into the same issues for me, where there's a lot of like separated plating and just weird open areas. I don't mind the navy blue color, but the red hubcaps do look kind of strange with it.
Yeah, what's
it's just
that
a weird
about?
color combination. But I like that the cockpit is in the center of the car and the fins are at the back. I mean, there's like some basic structure things that I like, but I don't know. I give it a D+ maybe, or a C-. It's not my favorite, but it's not as offensive as the other ones to me.
Offensive.
Andrew?
This one again is like getting into like almost sci-fi territory.
Yeah.
So for again, like the Burton one, it's not really that good. But if this is, Batman Beyond or anything supposed to be anywhere near futuristic, I really don't hate it. I mean, I like the stealth bomber look, and it does sit low to the ground. Like, I mean, still look like like a souped up Lamborghini of some sort. I don't like the red rims.
Yeah.
And I don't like. Place. Yeah, it's really out of place, and I don't really love the broken up, front. If that was like more of a solid piece, that'd be a lot better. And it would be interesting to see this as like the same color blue as the other one, with these yellow lights, and let's put black on black, rims and of course tires, and then it's got the 2 wings, so we're looking good there, and the canopy's in the middle. So I really don't hate it. I'm giving it like a B-, honestly. This is my, well, not exactly, but this is sort of closer to my aesthetic when it's not Anton first. Like any kind of any kind of sci-fi kind of shit like this, I gravitate towards, I think. Yeah.
To me, I have some of the same gripes. I'd probably put it around like C- or so on it. It's got some potential though. Like if we do a lot of the changes that Andrew was talking about, especially replacing the the fucking rims, all that.
I don't know what they were thinking.
Solid in the front. It also seems more fragile if it's open like that in the front. I'm just like, that seems tactically a terrible idea.
That's true. More bugs.
Yeah. Also, not really sure how the lights work then. If part of it's not even connected, I don't know. It's fucking weird. Anyway,
they're just floating.
Let's go on to the next one.
It's confusing us now.
So we've got one that looks a little bit more James Bond than Batmobile to me personally. This kind of looks like the classic James Bond Aston Martin mixed in with some elements of the George Barris stuff with
that red.
Yeah, the red grille in the front, and then they added wings in the back.
Very subtle wings. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
that's
then
cool.
A bit of a fin on the top, it looks like, too.
That is true.
Yeah, just a little teeny tiny one.
So it feels like
this would be a good Batman Noir. What is it? The one in the Gaslight? Or maybe that's too far back.
That's way too far back. They didn't,
yeah, there's no cars.
Like this back then.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Now I can't think of the name of it.
One like a kind of a throwbacks. Yeah.
Maybe like a 60s Batman, but not Adam West.
A little bit darker.
Like a darker 60s Batman, yeah.
Like Batman goes to England.
And it's
in Batman 66.
Hammer horror.
Yeah. There is a horror look to this, and I agree with that. I don't know what it is, but it looks like, I don't know. It doesn't look like a hearse or anything, but there's something about this whole, I
agree.
The atmosphere and stuff of this concept art. It does have like an ominous look to it for such a simple car, and I like that.
Yeah, I kind of like the Aston Martin aspects to it as both a Bond fan and a Batman fan, though I don't know if I really need to see like a combination of them in one car, though. But it is kind of cool to see an experiment with it.
It looks like the wing is broken up a little bit because you see the line there, like that's where the door opens, because the wing's kind of blocking some of that side window there.
Oh you're right.
Yeah,
he just slides in through the open window,
Dukes of
like
Hazzard
a race car.
Yeah. This is okay. I mean, I just give it like I'm giving a lot of B's today, but I guess it's kind of a B.
There's a lot of B's Batmobiles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it an A-. I kind of like it.
Damn. All right.
It has a grim look to it, even though it's not like a super scary looking Batmobile. I don't know. I find it intimidating somehow, so I like it.
I'm kind of weirded out by just the combo, personally. I'm just like, it's the Aston Martin, but also the Batmobile at the same time with these shark fins in the back. I'm like, I don't know. I'd probably give it like a B-. Like, I appreciate the idea. Again, part of this is just like, this is the dude designing it with like a lot of Photoshop and that type of stuff. So I'm sure if this were brought to life, there would be some modifications just for practical reasons. But we're just judging it based off of the concept art here. So yeah. It's kind of cool looking, but All right, let's go into this next one.
The grim kind of horror look is pretty cool. I agree.
I think so.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of this kind of thing. Actually, now that we're talking about it.
Mm. All right, well, we're on to the next one where we get very retro.
This is super comic booky.
This is basically the 40s Batmobile. We got the Bathead battering ram with the lights in front. We've got, this very classic retro-looking design of the actual car and the two fins in the back. I'm not going to lie. I love the fact that they tried to go for it, but, this does not fit Titans at all.
No, not at all.
If this was, 1940s noir Batman and Robin, then, this is perfect. But
this would have fit the
Titans,
serials.
Dude, if they did this in the serials, we would definitely not put that in Goose Egg.
Definitely
S+.
not.
That would have been,
Yeah.
I don't know about S, but it depends on how well they looked at it. But if it looked like this in the 40s, then sure.
They would definitely need a shot of that fucking battering ram coming through the fog with those eyes.
Yes, yeah.
You need that for sure.
And you've got the criminals in the back looking to see where he is, and then suddenly you see the eyes, and the head goes through the fog because it just rooms right towards them.
Yeah. That'd be sweet for sure.
So, So as much as I love this, I also have to say not for Titans, but I love it in general, because it's basically the comic book Batmobile brought to life.
What do you give it? You never ranked anything first, Ben.
All right, fine. I'd give it an A. I'd say I'd give it an A.
Yeah.
It's not quite S because it's not. I don't know. Part of it's it's not a real thing, so it's hard for me to be like, this is S tier for something that doesn't even exist. It only exists in one picture.
I think you could still. I think it'd still be fine if you did it that way. It doesn't matter to me.
The red line is a little weird to me. I don't think we really need that. On that, which is a little weird because I like it in the Batman 66 one, but at least there's more red to that. Here it's just here's a homage.
One single red line,
I don't know if we need that at all then. That's the main flaw, and I don't know what these silver teeth thing that are on the
it's
sides.
Like piping.
That's like that those 50s
you can see the
kind
engine.
Of shit.
Yeah, I don't really need that either. On that.
It's like a Cruella de Vil car with the fins on the back and the head on the front.
If they brought this to life, I wouldn't complain about that part specifically, but if I had the opportunity to change stuff, I'd probably take out those elements. All right, Zach?
I'd give it an A too. I like it. Mm-hmm. I think it's fun to see a 3D version of that classic Batmobile from the 40s. I think us just talking about it being a replacement for the Batman serials Batmobile has lit something inside of me that I like. I like this one. I wish it was real for that version.
There would be so many nosebleeds from kids in the theater from excitement. If this would have happened in the serials, the kids would have died. It would have been too much to handle.
Yep, that's right.
I like how we're recasting a lot of the Batmobiles from the past with these concept art stuff. This one's for the serials. We got a new Batman Forever one. One of these from Titans. Andrew said that Bale should have driven instead. We're recasting everything here.
I've said several should be in Batman Beyond, so there's that also.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that too.
So you guys, you ranked it, right? You gave it an A,
Zach?
Yeah.
It's your turn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, I know I said I wasn't a huge fan of the battering ram, but this would be a great toy, man. I mean, this is a really solid design for what it is. This time, I mean, the time period may be a little off, but in and of itself, outside of time period, outside of any movies, it's pretty cool overall. I mean, maybe you would make that red stripe lead into the eyes, make the eyes red.
Ooh,
just kind of thinking out loud.
Cool.
Yeah, just make that work a little more consistent design wise. But other than that, it's like an evil Cruella de Vil car with a battering ram on it and the two wings in the back. And it's cool. It's pretty cool, man. So it's maybe an A- from me. Yeah, it's
nice.
Good. It's good.
Nice. Maybe I should have ended with this one. We got two more. We got two more for
Yeah.
Titans, which again is amazing considering just how little it's actually in the show for all
Yeah.
this work
Yeah.
that was put into it.
Yeah.
So this is a more modern update to the Bathead battering ram type thing with the
Ooh.
red eyes that you were talking about, Andrew.
There we go. There it is.
So they brought that idea to life already, at least for this version. This is obviously a lot more modern. We've got... It almost looks like the Asbat mask in terms of how the bat head looks in the front.
Yeah.
We've got the traditional canopy in the back, as well as the two fins in the back. We've kind of got these blocky coverings of the wheels in the back, and in the front the wheels are exposed, so that's weird to me.
That's
personally.
weird. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then we've got some of the lines that sort of remind me of the Snyder Batmobile.
Yeah, a
some
little
reason.
bit.
Yeah. And it's blue. So, interesting. I think that, I prefer the other one more. It's decent to see kind of a cool more modern take, but this exposed wheel stuff is a little weird to me. And then, as we talked about, this canopy being this far close to the wheels just makes it really fucking awkward when the canopy goes up and he has to jump in, that type of stuff. So, I'd give it like a B-.
I think I'm right there with you, Ben. I think that's a pretty good grade for this one. I like how sharp it looks, and I like the red eyes and the navy blue. I agree. I don't really like the exposed front wheels. I don't mind this kind of inset of the sides where it's like it's going in a little bit. That detail is kind of neat. So, I think it's cool. I mean, it kind of looks like a toy I would have seen in like late 90s, early 2000s for Batman to drive around in. So it's pretty cool.
That's true. It is have that vibe.
Nice.
It looks very close. I mean, again, borrowing from the '89 one, which is always a good idea. The general design elements of it, proportions or whatever. I think it's pretty solid, man, overall. I don't like the exposed wheel, but, like, this is a really good incorporation of the battering ram, too. Like, it doesn't feel like it's tacked on as much. It feels more part of it. Yeah, so this one, again, the front's a little too long, and the wheels are exposed, but other than that, I think this was pretty solid, dude. So... B+ at least. Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, this is a toy. Look at this. I could totally see this as a toy for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We got one final one. Here we go. So this is a Batmobile that brings back some of the retro stuff, not from the 40s, but sort of from the 70s, 80s, a bit of the 60s.
Yeah, superpowers.
Yeah, we got the bat head painted on the hood here. We got the windshields, the dome-like windshields that are almost like from the 60s show or so. And it feels sort of fitting that this was considered, and I almost wonder maybe this is what they should have gone with simply because this sort of looks like the Batmobile from the era where the Teen Titans debuted. In the 80s. Like, this looks like the Batmobile that Jason Todd tried to steal the tires from. And that's right around the time that the TV show, takes place on it. So, like, why not just do the fucking Batmobile from that time, It's a lot cheaper probably than building, these long-ass Batmobiles that we've been looking at for the concept art.
Yeah.
On it. So, what do you guys think of this?
I appreciate the fact that it looks like the Superpowers Batmobile. But I also don't really like that design very much. I don't know. To me, it's like a C. I appreciate the callback to the more comic book version of the Batmobile, but that's not one of my favorite designs. I don't know. It's kind of got the whole vacuum cleaner front to it, and and the bat head is like just a painted on element. So
that's true.
Yeah, I don't mind that as much simply because it's from the comic.
It is. I don't know. Seeing it in real life is just different.
That's true.
It's okay. I don't know. I don't remember what I rated some of those ones I hated so much now. I don't think it should be that low.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's like a B, maybe just a steady B, maybe not like a C really. So
okay, I think that's fair.
Okay.
Andrew?
Okay, yeah. So I think the it's pretty good overall. Actually, I kind of like it, but I think the canopy or whatever, the windshield feels too separated. It's like two different things. Maybe I know they want to do like an Adam West thing here, but I would would it make it too plain?
Make that area thinner.
Yeah, make it thinner. Yeah, or make it
because it was thinner in the '60s show.
It looks too separated. It looks like it's like two, like the passenger and the driver in two different cars almost. You know. So I think that's like the main problem for me, but. I mean, other than that one element, I kind of like it, man, for what it is. It's what was it, 60s?
60s with the sort of, the look of the windshield area, right here, very much the 60s. But I mean, it's mostly the 70s and 80s with this, the look of this.
The body of the car
here. Yeah,
the hood looks like 80s kind of.
Yeah.
So, shit, man, I don't know. It's like a B, man. It's like a B.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd give it a solid B plus maybe, because I appreciate the incorporation of that and the decision to go a little bit more retro with this type of stuff in an era where it's like tanks and stuff it was still sort of in at that time, but they obviously don't have the budget for something like that, and it doesn't really fit with that type of stuff. But I like that they wanted to go there, even if it turned out they didn't. So
right.
I like it. I know the bat painted onto the hood is kind of hokey if you see it in live action.
Yeah.
In comparison to the way that like the previous ones were with the bat head, where that's a little bit more like badass looking compared to this. But I don't know. I just like the retro-esque feel to it.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's fine.
So all of these, we've spent more time talking about the concept art of the Batmobile than the Batmobile has shown up in the show. So
for sure.
Until that show actually does use the Batmobile, it's probably the last we're ever going to talk about it on it. But we have one more Batmobile that's indicated in one line of a treatment that we've gone over, and that treatment is for Justice League 2.
Oh shit.
Justice League 3, I should say, 2A. As we covered, the Knightmare universe would have had, quote, a Fury Road-inspired Batmobile, which contains the Justice League, Batman, Green Lantern, Deadshot, Mara. They break into the Stronghold, which is a cathedral swarming with anti-life controlled people who are Darkseid soldiers. So
they're squeezing in there?
Yeah, they just all squeeze inside.
Man,
it depends on what the Batmobile looks like, but I personally wonder then, given what we saw in the Snyder Cut, was this Fury Road-inspired Batmobile the Dark Knight Returns Batmobile that we saw at the very end of the Snyder Cut that he dubs the War Machine. So this Batmobile was probably the only one that's all CG, but who knows what form it could have taken. Maybe they would have built or had a model at least of the real thing in the Knightmare verse if they actually got the opportunity to do that. So who knows what he could do with it. But it's kind of tough to really do a grading on this last one, I realize, because we don't really know if this was the one that he had in mind, and we just have the word Fury Road inspired Batmobile. That's all we got on this. So I guess instead of a grading, I will ask you guys what have been your favorite unused Batmobiles so far. Should we start with Zach? Or I guess I could start. I could
go
start
ahead,
first.
Ben.
Yeah, like I do like the Bathead stuff, but it's probably two. It would probably be obviously the Bathead one from the 40s would be good, but as I said, it's not for Titans. But the Batman Forever one that we saw, the last one that we liked a lot, I was like, that could still fit that period of time. That could still fit that movie very well, and it sort of had that retro look. It's still inferior to the Batmobile in design wise, but if we were to rewrite history and that type of stuff, it would have been cool, I think. So my vote's for that one.
Good.
Zach?
I would say number one has to be the Aronofsky looking demon head one.
I thought you were going to say number one was the cigarette lighter.
No, that was for shits and giggles, but if I just was basing it on what I like about the way it looks, that one was my favorite. And I also really like the one that we said looked kind of like horror-esque. What did you say? The James Bond car mixed with a Batmobile. It looked very grim to me. I really like that one. So those two, I think, have been my favorites.
Okay. Awesome. Andrew?
What did I give an A? I fucking can't even remember at this point. We went through so many.
We went through a lot.
Can you jog my memory again, man?
I think you gave an A to the Bathead one. You might have given
that
Bathead one.
that one was good.
And then you had revisions to the Batman Forever one, which I'm going to pull up right now.
Oh,
just
yeah.
to remind us of what that looks like.
One of my dream ones. Yeah, that one could be up there just because it's so simple.
Yeah.
And with my revisions, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
I like the sci-fi ones too, so maybe one of those with my revisions. So yeah,
that's the most important part.
Yeah, most important part, because as is, it's just they're all right. Yeah. You know what? Just make it simple. My revisions to that Batman Forever one. That's the best one.
Yeah. All right, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
And with that is superhero stuff you should know. Once again, thanks to our research assistant Dan for his help with the Titans Batmobile, as well as doing the QC and chapter time codes for us on all our episodes. We have a few fan comments to go over for you guys. Let's start with Tom Hato, who commented on our episode about how Bruce Wayne should just quit being Batman and donate his money, and how that's a bad take. Tom says, this is a reply to the fact that I said that the only people who were somewhat motivated by money were the Killing Joke Joker, the Bronze Age Penguin, and Catwoman. So Tom says, quote, the Killing Joke Joker didn't turn evil because he was poor. He participated in crime because of that, but he made poor financial decisions. He was a chemist before dropping it to become a struggling comedian. He turns evil through a combination of self-hatred, mental illness, and existential dread. The Penguin is not motivated to commit crime to get out of poverty. He commits crime because of a massive inferiority complex. He's also a psychopath. Catwoman is also not motivated by money. She's Catwoman for the thrill, the pride of pulling off heists in style, and she wears the costume as a form of self-expression. Depending on the interpretation, Selena Kyle is an aristocrat. I forgot about that too. Thanks for bringing that up. That's also in the animated series. In Batman Returns, she's motivated by revenge and to unleash repressed feelings after years of inadequacy and loneliness. The problem of evil goes deeper than money. Tom, I don't think we disagree with you about any of those things.
Solid.
No.
Yeah. In the app, I think I said those three were the main ones who could have possibly benefited from having more money. But as you pointed out very clearly, money played actually a very small role too, in that there were so many other factors. It's what motivates the Killing Joke Joker to be desperate enough to turn to crime with the Red Hood gang, but there are so many other things that cause him to become Joker after that. Similar thing to Bronze Age Penguin, similar thing with Catwoman. So thank you for your comment, and also thank you for agreeing with us. So
yes.
Yeah.
Most important.
We love that.
Yes.
Next is a comment from Slight Rebellion off Madison on our Ranking Batmobiles episode. Good work as always, gentlemen. I'd have to say, in terms of style, I'd go with 89, and in terms of practicality and function, I'd go with the Tumbler. I have to say, though, I do find the Batmobile kind of contradictory to Batman's MO. He spends most of the time in the shadows, hiding and swinging from rooftops, yet he uses a car that stands out in any crowd that easily makes him a target, which is true. Honestly, he should just use a scaled-down version of the Reeves version, a black muscle car. On a final note for Ben, I read your Gotham script. Well done. Thanks, man. I honestly thought Gotham was a dumb idea for a TV show, but you managed to write something worth reading, and even used my favorite Golden Age Batman villain, the Monk, and threw in a cool twist at the end of him. So, thanks a lot for reading. Thanks for the feedback, and check that out on my website, guys, if you want to see a twist on the Mad Monk from the Golden Age. So, moving on. Last is another comment from our Batmobile rankings video from Wheezing336 saying, quote, Batman Forever has my favorite Batmobile as well as being my favorite Batman live-action film. There. Now you've heard someone say the Batman Forever Batmobile is someone's favorite. Well, there we go.
Well, thank you for your comment, Wheezing336. I'm sure we'll agree on something, just not this.
We have gotten more people saying that the Batman Forever Batmobile is one of their favorites than I've heard from Tumbler people, actually, so far off of this week. It's only been a couple days since that episode was released as of this recording, but it's interesting. I wasn't expecting as many Batman Forever Batmobile lovers, but I think part of it is just how much people have come around to Batman Forever and the Schumacher films recently with the whole, release the Schumacher cut stuff.
Yeah. It does. I will say this. It looks like Batman would drive it, unlike the Tumbler.
Yes.
It's just so outside of the aesthetic. the general aesthetic of that is Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll say that. But yeah, it's not for me. So, but I don't hate its guts or anything. It's just not my favorite.
We'll go with the concept art version with your revisions. Get Robert on here to make that version.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming, Robert.
Yeah.
Just make him do it.
Oh, man.
All right. Over to you, Andrew, with the shout-outs.
Okay, cool. All right. So thank you, everybody, for those comments. And we want to thank the Patreones, the supporters, everybody. So our numbers grow weekly. Well, maybe not weekly, but they're growing. So we got Shasta, Leomo, Super Inframan, Douglas P, Dan D, Aaron Willett, Nick Noir, Jesse E, Jeffrey R, Scott V, Askers Webb, Jeremy H, Alex of the What Mean Podcast, Ian Justice, Jared P, Paul C, Jamie H, Rochelle L, Tara M, Michael S, and Makayo, I'm assuming. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And then Sparkageddon, our other supporters are Sparkageddon, SECT Productions, Robert Schumann, Kooky Noms, Matt Herring, Elijah B, Shamrock Balls, Ian H. Walter, The Wobot, John Wells, Rye Guy, Jackson Putnam, and Tway in everybody. So, please fucking support us. $1 tier gets you that shout out. $5 tier, whole other show. Fucking all kinds of shit every Friday. Cancel anytime. And that's a $5 tier. $10 tier is a monthly meetup where you get to chuckle with us live together and have a good old time on a chat. And then we got, and that's a monthly meetup, so it's only one time per month. At least that's how it is right now. And
you still get the perks from the $5 tier.
You still get all the, that's how Patreon generally works. Yeah, you get all the you get all the perks from the tiers below that as well. So there's that. And then I'm gonna say it up top. Still don't have that fucking Jokula from Zach.
I don't even expect it anymore. I'm gonna die of shock the day that it actually happens.
But it isn't half of them. Superhero merch. Let me change the fucking thing right now. Superhero stuff pod merch. There we go. Superhero stuff pod merch on the Redbubble store and the Threadless store. What is it? We do have the Jokula on Threadless, right? We
have it on one of them.
We have it on one of them.
Redbubble didn't like it.
Redbubble doesn't like Zach, so there's that. So artwork by Wolfie Cruz on those guys. Oh, wait, Stefan Santa Cruz. He's not going by that anymore. I keep forgetting. Let me change that, too. We're changing right on the air. All right, so it changed that. All right.
Know who that is.
Yeah, long-time listeners. So, yeah, we got, mugs, shirts, shower curtains, all kinds of shit on those stores. And please send us some audio, everybody. Where is it?
I actually meant to record something. I just haven't had a chance to.
You keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. It's just how it goes. So
the audience clearly keeps forgetting too.
Audience does not give a shit because they've never fucking told us about it. That's fine. So anyway, please send us audio to superhousepodcast@gmail.com. Again, superhousepodcast@gmail.com. And after that, I'm Thunderwolf Drew on Instagram and Twitter. Thunderwolf lives on YouTube. And ThunderwolfDrew.com has all of my shit. I'm on a recon. Do have a slight update. We did film something for it. And there's still some more filming to go, but there's been some forward momentum. And that's all I'll say about that part of it. But yeah, it is R-rated. It's an original idea, and it has influence from Power Rangers, from Kamen Rider, if you know that, which is a similar show in Japan to Power Rangers, and it's got X-Files and Stranger Things. If you were to, the closest thing is basically Kamen Rider or Power Rangers meets Stranger Things, okay, and rated R and bloody. And, probably a little bit of Ash versus the Evil Dead, too, because it's horror comedy. So yeah, there's that. This artwork is by the Zachary Jackson Brown. And yeah, it's coming. We're making it. That's why I've been tired of this episode, actually, because I'm still recovering from that shoot. So so there's that. James Wan said on Facebook yesterday or today, like he's on day 100 of Aquaman 2. This is public because he fucking posted about it, and he said day 100 I'm crawling. Like, dude, I fucking can't imagine, bro. Like 100 days of that. Yeah. Oh my God, man. But anyway, he's living the dream. We're all living the dream. Anyway, it's going to be an Indiegogo campaign, everybody. That's like Kickstarter. We're going to have a campaign for a bigger thing at some point. And that's it for me. Ben?
Shout out to Comic Capital on Instagram, as well as the Everything Entertainment Club on Clubhouse. Follow us on social media. We are on Twitter at SuperhousePod, Instagram, Superhero Stuff Pod, TikTok, Superhero Stuff Pod, Vero, Superhero Stuff Pod. As for me, you can follow my website, Ben Juan Writer, where you can read the Gotham script that Slight Rebellion Off Madison was talking about, called Gotham Vampire, where young Bruce faces off against the Mad Monk from the Golden Age.
That's
as
cool.
well as my spec script for Elementary called The Death of Sherlock Holmes, a modern update on the Arthur Conan Doyle story, The Adventure of the Dying Detective. My YouTube channel is in the description below, where you can also check out my new project that should be out this week for the 58th anniversary of Doctor Who, The Ronin of Time, an audio drama I write, narrate, edit, with thanks to our research assistant Dan for the help on that. And it's the 8th Doctor meets Miyamoto Musashi in ancient Japan and helps him.
That's really cool.
So that's what we got. Personal Instagram is Ben Juan Writer. My son's Instagram, Alfie Pennyworth Cat, is the Instagram handle. You probably heard him in the background at one point in this episode because he likes to play with stuff, and I guess he decided to do it during the recording. So I'll have to talk to him about that later, but he doesn't give a fuck. If you have a cat, you know that, and if you do, then you can get the Whisker Box, the only cat box for the cat lady and gent, the crazy cat lady and gent. And if you don't have a cat, then you can have maybe a dog, because the dog... I fucked that up.
Maybe a dog. Perhaps you have a pet of some sort.
Have some sort of pet
that barks.
Yes, and so they get the bark box, y'all. That is the promo link that we have that is available at superherostuffpod.com/shop. You can click that one, and you can get the first month off free, valued at $35. But at that same link, superherostuffpod.com/shop, you can also get other affiliate links for other things that you can buy and get that will help enrich your life, but also enrich our lives, because it'll help us out a little bit. So that is it for us. Jesus, I am done talking today. Over to Zach.
Did you have a shoot too, man, this weekend?
I had a shoot too, yeah. This is my shoot.
Well, if you'd like to see more of my doodles and my art, you can go to ZacharyJacksonBrownArt.com, where you can also purchase t-shirts, enamel pins, and art prints. You can also follow me on TikToks, on Instagrams, and on the YouTubes. Just look up Zachary Jackson Brown Art, and you can watch me do all the stuff I do when I'm not here.
Zach, do you remember the commercial? Do you like to doodle? Do you like to draw? You know what I'm talking about? Was that the magazine or whatever they gave you, like, how to draw, and it was like a picture of an ape or something like
horse
that.
Or something
it was
like
that.
A
drawing school or something. It was always on USA
I do
Network.
kind of remember that. Yeah, I do remember it, actually.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Scoff at it. I was like, I can draw that.
Then the Crossfire commercial would come on. Anyway, I'm loopy as fuck. So, what do we want them to do for us, Zach?
I want you to tell all your friends about us.
that was close enough. All right.
What was it?